Loose White dive on it.
This is twice now the Celtics have been first to the floor.
They try to save with Horford. Unbelievable.
Boston first to the floor. So good.
Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, laying. Got it. Washington drives. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
All right, welcome in. First to the floor. How about them Celtics? Collab, free agency live stream. Fellas, how we doing? Luke Kornet at this moment is still a Celtic. How's things?
Oh, I wouldn't say things are going awesome, it feels like, for the Boston Celtics. If you like winning basketball games, not what seems to be trending in the right direction. If your team just straight tank, it feels like the stealth part feels like it's being slowly removed from the phrase. But yeah, that's what it feels like right now.
Yeah, I keep looking at the roster and just going like, what happened? Like Amari Williams is our starting center right now. Pretty sure he's 46th pick in the draft. So I'm hoping for, maybe some sneaky little vet minimum contracts. So those you usually don't get signed on the first day of free agency, but we will see.
What really happened to the roster is we had a Thanos snap, which is why we have the end game type collab here for the free agency stream. But I'll tell you what, Spoonie just did some Nemi erasure, the clear starter as of right now, which everybody love. Everybody's excited about Nemi. And, I did some looking at the free agency class today. Thomas Bryant.
Oh, Tony.
Maybe.
What about Tony B?
He got re-signed. Jack and I discovered that today.
Yeah, we lost the best TB, unfortunately.
Disaster.
Thomas Bryant, maybe.
Okay. Conference Finals King. Jack Simone, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. I would start Amari Williams over to Miashketa, but other than that, I'm feeling.
There we go.
It's my boy, Jack.
I can't watch you.
They have a very similar weakness in that Amari, and later we're having Nick on to do like a full deep dive, but like Amari's big weakness is kind of like putting the orange ball in the basket from close by.
But at least he passes. At least he passes.
Amari definitely looks the part a lot more by like being able to dribble and pass, especially for a big man. Nemi doesn't have any of the dribble, pass, shoot skills. He has the be super tall, try hard for the most part. If he can figure out the defensive rebounding thing, that would be big for him. But just figure it out the following season. That would be my request. Don't figure if we do end up with Nemi Kata starting. Don't figure too much out.
All of the scouts I've spoken to have said that being able to put the ball in the basket from close by as a big man is very important, sought after skill set.
Well, I will say, I haven't put out the video or anything yet, but I am like watching like Kentucky games and such. And the one thing I will say about Amari Williams' bad field goal percentage is he like 50% of the possessions they do are go stand at the top of the key. If nothing happens, we're going to give you the ball and you're going to have to either make a pass or drive. And so he ends up taking these like really bad, like floaters from outside the paint. It's really ugly. I don't think the field goal percentage was completely his fault in his defense.
Okay.
Kentucky's
That's
like one of the only teams with shooters, bro. Like that is.
But they didn't have a point guard. But they didn't have like it was just
fair.
It was just Kobe Bryant and the other guys running like chickens with their heads cut off, and if they couldn't find anything, it was like, all right, here you go, Amari Williams, figure it out, man. And that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
No, Jared. No.
I've notified Billy Billions. He's in.
I gotta. Okay, Al Horford feels okay. Question from the chat, from Jack like in the chat, and yeah, shout out how about them Celtics for joining us. We've got the cross stream action happening, so shout out to the how about them Celtics fellas as well. But who right now? We have 2 minutes until free agency starts. Kornet, is he a Boston Celtic in 25-26? Sam LaFrance, throw it to you, brother.
Just doesn't feel like it. Feels like everybody's willing to open the bag and pour all the money out on Luke Kornet's plate to help him pay his mortgage. We've heard the Spurs and Clippers as teams who want Luke, and they're willing. I think for sure the Spurs have the regular non-taxpayer MLE, which is like 14.1, and the Clippers are interested in throwing him some money too. I don't know if the Celtics can really match. We've heard like the smoke about they want to trade Simons to clear more cap space to bring both these guys back, but we haven't heard anything of it. It's almost free agency time, and nothing has really happened. But with that being said, like if you want to read the tea leaves, like the draft last week, the plan was to draft Fleming at 31, then they trade back and they end up getting Amari Williams, but there was no immediate plan to go get a big guy in the draft either. So if you want to like talk yourself into good things happening, you can do it. It's just I have like a really bad feeling about 6 p.m., but I'm not sourced. I don't know anything. I'm speculating like the rest of the chat, of course.
Should we ask this guy as we bring him up on stage, Dan Greenberg of Boston Sports? Greenie, how you doing, man? Welcome.
I fucking want to die. How's everybody else doing?
About the same.
Yeah. Waking up to the reports that Golden State are, whatever the ridiculous vernacular that Shams decides to use in a tweet, whether it's targeting, zeroing in on, please don't let the next, while I'm talking, be Al Horford to the Golden State
I was going to
Warriors.
say, are we all just mindlessly refreshing our timelines as this happens? Okay.
When I went to sleep, I said, Al Horford to the Lakers or the Knicks feels like the two rumblings that would really make me want to die. Miami would be in that category. I didn't see that one. I've been hoping if he leaves the Celtics that he goes to the Nuggets, because I could really get on board with a Jokic, Al Horford run if I'm going to have to experience it. Golden State's not that far behind the Lakers and the Knicks. Like, do I have to see Al Horford dapping up Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green? That sounds like a fucking nightmare.
I don't even know where I would want him to go. I don't want to see him in any of these uniforms.
Well, no, obviously.
He would be an incredible fit in Golden State.
Who do I want him to infiltrate and break down from within like he did on the Sixers? That's who I want him to end up with. Who do we see in 2 years from now being a competitor that we need Al Horford to dissemble from within?
It does. Do I want to do it to the Pacers? The Knicks does feel like if he was going to replicate the insurgent mission from Philadelphia, it does feel like the Knicks are the obvious choice. Like Karl Anthony Towns feels like if there's a Venn diagram between Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns and their inability to carry over their effectiveness from the regular season to the playoffs, that feels like a fit. But I can't see him in New York, man. That's
now
brutal.
Can he just like pull a PJ Brown and like semi-retire and just come back? Like what's the deal around that? Why does he have to be on somebody else's roster on opening night? Can't we just tell him like, let's see what Tatum looks like towards the end of the year and then pull the PJ Brown? Like what's the specifics about that?
Yeah,
I imagine he wants to get paid. Greenie is the one thing, but
I think it's over, man. I don't know. Like up to this point for agency, I've been up like in the offseason, I've been so like, I think he just wants to stay in Boston, like everything he's ever said. But hearing all these reports, the Himmelsbach tweet, it's just like, and like, listen, there's no like, screw that guy. What are you doing? Like, I get it. He's 38 now, so of course he wants to try to win. But it's just, all the smoke is pointing in one direction. It's hard to ignore. But
now, didn't Himmelsbach say, wasn't his tweet that he may not make a day one decision?
That's what he said yesterday.
And don't worry, Michael Scotto just dropped that the Jazz picking up Svi Mikhailu's option is the first news of free agency.
Blockbuster.
So they're making
RJ
guaranteed
in the
money.
chat.
Huge.
Shout out.
In shambles. RJ Johnson, our number one.
Oh shit!
Svi
got guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
exactly.
that was the first domino. It's now Giannis can decide where he wants to go.
yeah.
Oh my god!
But yeah, go ahead, Sweeney.
I was gonna say, like, what do we think like the mandate from ownership is? Because like Al's gonna get what, $5 million a year? Like there's fundamentally no 6, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's probably what
fundamentally
it
no
is.
difference for what we're doing
Well-
between being over the first apron or over the second apron. Like, I don't think the basketball penalties really matter for a team trying to tear it down. So we're just going to let them walk. I think they probably want to get under the luxury tax, right? And then in that case, it's like, this is going to get uglier.
I think that's the $1 million question, right? Was the mandate get under the second apron, and if you can keep one of your bigs and you somehow do it, great. Or was the mandate get under the luxury tax, but don't touch Brown, White, or Tatum to do it? Which means, I think there's something like 18 million away, which means not only are you off the Simons money, but you potentially need to reroute part of what you get back in that trade, right? If you're going to get under the luxury tax, fill out with minimum money, you're close to 20 million from that luxury tax number as things stand right now, right? So it's like, we're going to know pretty quickly what the mandate was.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have to get under the luxury tax, I feel like you can carry Simons into the season and flip him. But if you have to get under the luxury tax, don't you have to trade him in the next 35 minutes or something?
Jack, Jack, what do you think?
I wonder how much of it is going to depend on what Al and Luke do, right? Like if those guys are like, actually, let's stay in Boston, then maybe it's like, okay, maybe we don't duck the luxury tax. Maybe we can actually try to field a somewhat competitive roster. But if those guys' priority is either Luke Kornet wanting as much as he possibly can and Al Horford wanting to actually win a championship, like if Al wants to win a championship, then the Celtics are probably screwed anyways, right? Like, unfortunately, right? I mean, Mike Zarin and Brad Stevens have said it at each of the last 2 press conferences. The best players in a boot, there's not much you can do, right? Like, that's just kind of where you're at. And so if Al's priority is I want to go win another ring, then if he's gone, then maybe the Celtics shift to, okay, let's just duck the luxury tax since we're probably not going to field it anyways. It's who knows? Who knows? It's just a tough spot to be in.
I think it's the hardest part, I think, is if Horford does go for what you said, the non-taxpayer MLE or portion of it, that pretty much cooks you to keep him both, right? Because I think that plan was, okay, you convince Al to take the minimum but you give Kornet 7 to 8. And then you can still potentially stay under the apron if you offload around 12 to 14 million, which you could do with Hauser in a minimum or Niang in a minimum. But whatever they're offloading, if they're getting back, let's say, minimum money, then that lowers what you then can offer Luke Kornet. And it's like, if he's going to get 10 to 13, is he really going to take a 5 to 6 million pay? I almost don't want him to do that for his own
too much
sake,
too much,
right?
Sam,
So it's really, if Al isn't going to take the minimum, you're only keeping one. And that's if either of them, it's like, at best case, you're keeping one just because it's a math formula. You have a math problem.
Sam, are you in back into it's the owner's money, so I don't care territory, or where are you with this situation?
When we're talking about saving luxury tax dollars, I don't really care. But with it being the first season of Bill Chisholm being the owner, whatever kind of agreement they have, where it's him and sort of Wick running things at the moment. I don't know. It doesn't feel like they're ready to compete for a championship with the Tatum thing. They might not even try and be good. We don't really know what the roster's going to look like. So I guess if Bill is going to avoid wallet fatigue, this is a good year to let him breathe a little bit. But as far as bringing those guys back goes, I think it was Slater reported today that the Warriors are looking to dangle the taxpayer MLE, which is 5.7 at Al. So it'd be hard for the Celtics to match that and also pay Luke. And they are in quite a difficult spot with all this.
I guess, how do you guys feel that they would get under the luxury tax, right? It's obviously unload your 2 bigs, but then...
So you're 15 million away at that point. And so it would basically be you dump Niang and Hauser and you do it. And you can still keep Simons.
That's enough.
Because that's 19 million if you were able to get off them, basically. Because Niang's 8.5, Hauser's 10.
Right, but then you need to fill 2 minimum spots, so that's around 4 million coming back onto it. I think if you were to get under the luxury tax but sign minimums, I think you need to be closer to like 21 or 22 under the luxury tax
I think
number.
the third step. I mean, the easiest way to do it would be like, can you find like the perfect 3-team deal for Simons in where you actually end up shedding like the 60% of his number, and then you get off Niang. You might even be able to thread the needle of keeping Hauser in that scenario where whoever you trade Simons for, you trade that person again, and you kind of take like the ladder all the way down. That's one way to do it. I don't know, but when it comes to
do you
Horford,
then risk the run of not having the salary slot for the Tatum when he's back? Like, how do you then?
Well, so yeah, Tice in the chat here, we talked about this in the Discord last night. It's like, so if you get out of the tax, then all of a sudden, then next off season, you have your full mid-level exception to offer someone, and that becomes your tradable salary at plus whoever you get back for Simons. Let's say that person is also 15 million.
And I think in theory you have the 22 million Porzingis exemption, right? So those are some ways to add in mid to high salary. I'm just thinking if they're worried about a post gap year roster, I feel like you can't get under the luxury tax. I feel like you have to bite that bullet just to save the tradable contracts and have that salary slot. Again, maybe I'm doing the math. I mean, I went to Arizona State. I'm a moron, but like,
same.
I just think it's a math issue where if you're thinking, okay, you have a gap year and then you go after real guys in 2026, 27, real guys cost real money. So like, if you're getting rid of all of your mid-sized contracts to get under the luxury tax to reset that, how are you then creating an avenue to bring in those real players once Tatum is back? It's fascinating what we're about to witness.
Ben,
the tough part. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ben and then Sam, you jump in after that. Like, luxury tax aside, I kind of think that if you can't keep both Luka now, it kind of feels like you should just lose both anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you're just because like I was saying with both of them, you probably versus without both of them, that could be like a 20-win swing on the high end. Because if you're replacing Luka now with Cater and the god Amari Williams, Ben, maybe you can actually look at like the 9th best lottery yards all of a sudden. Whereas like what's as much as the emotional toll it would take to lose Horford, if you're already losing Luke, you may as well just lose Horford as well, Ben. Because like, what's the point of him staying and helping you get 6 more wins so you get from the 11th seed to the 8th seed?
Well, yeah, and plus we're talking about eliminating all these chunks of salary. Like at some point, you're going to get rid of so much talent that neither Kornet or Al are going to want to re-sign in Boston anyway, because it's just not going to be good for them. And it's clearly a 2-year journey. So in the case of Al Horford, like the immediate 1 year, which is likely going to be the final year of his career, as much as he loves being in Boston physically, it's not going to be a good basketball situation for him. I agree. Like, just let everyone die at once and then grieve for everyone's death at the same time, rather than like stagger your grievances over the next year or two. It will be painful, but if we deal with a big chunk of pain up front all at once, then we can just start to compartmentalize that and move on and deal with whatever else is coming. Speaking of whatever else is coming, we're 11 minutes into free agency, and there's been some talk of Zoom calls with the Kings, I believe, and then that's it. Nothing else reported currently. A little eerie.
That's crazy. Where's Woj when you need him? Like they're in. Like this is the first time, because isn't it kind of always like.
It's bang.
Sham is like Fugazi. Like everyone already has Sham has got everything preloaded in his phone.
Yeah.
And yet here we are, quarter after, weird. And it's like we're waiting.
Yeah. I think we did deal with a Twitter outage at one free agency maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah. So maybe we're staring down the barrel of another one of those. But yeah, Jake, to get back to your question, I think like the more just listening to you guys talk about what's possible. And having to jettison some of those other contracts, like Simons, for example, like that is talent walking out the door, and it's going to be talent in the face of Tatum not being around. That's going to keep guys like Horford and Kornet wanting to remain on this roster, and I don't see how we can have both things at once.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now,
Sam.
Are you 6 or 5 others all under the impression that their path to get under the tax is everyone outside of the core 3, or do you think that? Because Ben, to your point, if they're just going, rip the Band-Aid off, let everyone die, get under the tax, reset, whatever, is this the moment? We all thought it might have been at the draft, but is this the moment where, they really go crazy and let things die? I mean, I don't think so, but I'm just curious if you guys think have we overcome that fear and that hurdle yet since we made it out of the draft alive.
I'm not personally ready to post the highlights of Jalen and Jason playing basketball together, saying like we're here forever. But Sam, I don't know. Do you think we're out of the woods when it comes to? Well, there are definitely people in the chat that think that getting out of the woods is getting out of the Jaylen Brown business. But do you think that's still on the table right now?
I didn't until we got on the stream. Now I'm like thinking about it. Like,
Well, I'm thinking more like Derek or Jalen. It doesn't have to.
Yeah,
be
sure.
Jalen.
Either or.
Like just one of the core two that are not out for the year.
It's just really a bad time for Tatum to have his first season of the Supermax. Like when you're trying to keep some key pieces on the team this summer, like having him make 60+ million, whatever it is next season, or technically now, doesn't really help the effort to getting Al and Luke in staying under the luxury tax. Like if he was a Supermax guy next season, 26, 27, you could probably sign those guys back, bite the bullet this year, pay them, and then once the new league year starts, you're kind of grandfathered into those contracts, and they don't have that luxury right now. So seeing what they have to do, is it Simons? It could be Simons, but at the same time, like, he is on the younger side. He has upside offensively, defensively. He's a massive question mark. It's almost like you would want to see him play with the team. Well, maybe we want to positively look at it as a question mark. We'll ignore the evidence and be like, we don't really know yet. Like maybe you put him next to Nemi, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, I'll just funnel everybody into Nemi. Nemi's an average 3 blocks a game.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, 5 fouls a game. What?
That's all right. Enforce
In limited minutes.
You heard the bad boy Pistons?
Listen, my thing
New
is
age.
we're talking about like what's the luxury tax number? So how much do they need to shed to get under luxury tax? Is it 18? Is it?
I think it's close to 18 before anything today.
Oh,
and that
we got something?
That
Yeah.
shit. Okay.
There we go.
All right.
James is alive.
But yeah,
my thing with the luxury tax
including the
number-
first round pick, including Hugo,
Yeah.
and then accounting for one veteran minimum signing, it was like
Okay.
18-ish
So-
million.
18-ish million. I feel like if you find the right landing spot for an Anthony Simons, you can get rid of a lot of that. Plus George Niang, Zay Mill, like those two, you find the right swapperoo, whatever you want to call it. I think you can get to that point. My biggest thing and my biggest problem with the whole concept of like, you might as well lose both so you can really commit to losing. It's like as much as it's hard to like commit to winning in the West, it's equally as hard to commit to losing in the East. The Celtics, if they have Jalen, Derek, and Peyton on the roster, are still going to be better than at least like 5 Eastern Conference teams. Like it is not going to be easy. No, like I don't even care if they lose both centers. They're still going to be better than the Bulls. They're still going to be better than the Wizards. They're still going to be better than the Nets. Like it's so hard to tank in the East, especially if you have 3 guys who can put up 20 a night. Like it's just gonna be hard. I'm not saying it's impossible, but like it's a tough line to ride. If you have Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Peyton Pritchard, and you're committed to keeping those guys, like to say, okay, let's just like fully gut this, right? Unless you're going to pull the Philly, let's just bench them all season. But even they didn't like fully, like their guys actually got hurt, right? So it's a tough like line for them to have to ride because it's going to be hard for them to tank in this version of the Eastern Conference.
They don't need to fully tank though. I've kind of been circling in on like the 9th or the 10th worst odds because if you have the 9th worst record, you have a 20% chance of jumping into the top 4. And so like you don't need like the flattened lottery odds do really help you now because like since the odds have been flattened, you've seen Atlanta jump up, you've seen a New Orleans jump up, you've seen fucking Nico Harrison's vision come to fruition with the 1.8.
Give the Lakers a free guy to get the lottery odds.
Maybe Al Horford, the sacrifice is Al Horford to the Lakers, but that equals AJ. I'm gonna butcher his name. AJ from Brockton coming to coming to town here, so you don't have to get all the way to the bottom. And then the 6th seed at worst, if you lose, if you're literally rolling out Cater and Tillman and Amari as your bigs, I don't.
It's so crazy what we're talking about.
I know, and especially if you've lost a Hauser as well, and so all of it, like I've been saying, Niang's good, but Niang's good as an 8th or a 9th man. If all of a sudden he's your 6th man, or even your 7th man, then things start to get a little dicey here. It's like is Hugo Gonzalez? Who knows? Maybe that could be a good thing. Like I understand that people are like lower on the Hawks, but the Hawks still won 40 games last year. The Jalen Johnson healthy, Trey Ricochet second year, KP. Would it be surprising if KP has his healthiest year in his career after tanking the dynasty that was supposed to be after leaving the Boston Celtics? Like, the Raptors are a weird one. I don't think they're going to be good, but if they're healthy, they're gonna. They've got a very similar team to the Celtics. All of a sudden, it's like Brandon Ingram and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's better, but Scotty Barnes and RJ and Quickly, they've got this hodgepodge of talent, and they can probably put together a relatively good defense. It's not. They can't get into the bottom 5.
Well, it almost feels like we're reliving the 2014-15 season pre-Isaiah Thomas trade, right? Like that whole debate was, should they make deals at the deadline and go for a shot at the playoffs, or should they miss the playoffs to get into the lottery? At that time, I was always of the belief every playoff rep you get your young guys matters. And if we think of how this team needs to look moving forward, where young guys may need to be ready by the time Tatum gets back, is it more valuable to potentially make the play-in or lose in the first round, whatever, but get those playoff reps in and have it end up with a 19 or 17 pick in the first round, but you earn some playoff reps for your young guys? Or do you just try to bottom out, miss the playoffs, but then get boned in the lottery? So it's like, what's the better path? Because I feel like when they went for it with Isaiah, that really sped up everything, right? That made the Celtics more attractive to Al Horford. That turned their rebuild into, as fast paced as you can get. Well, we now have to have another rebuild. Would making the playoffs and being competitive make you a more attractive option for that post-gap year of, hey, I wasn't going to take the taxpayer mid-level, but now I will because the Celtics are, 1 or 2 pieces away? That, I think, is, the $1 million question, which we'll learn today, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, the difference there is we had not guaranteed, but we had the Nets picks where we, outsourced our tanking to the Nets. I mean, what if we had another top 5 pick to go along in the 2015 or 16 draft? Does that change? Is that guy on the roster still and a huge piece of the core? I mean, I get it. Smart had he's guarding Kyrie Irving in the playoffs, if I'm remembering the right, or maybe that was in
14-15, they played the Hawks one year and lost in the first round. Then they lost in Isaiah's first year in the first round also.
Yeah, either way. Millsap that you were talking about, Spoony? Smart guarding
maybe
Paul
it was
Millsap.
Millsap. Yeah, no,
Legendary series.
Cavs one of those years too.
They did. They got swept in first round by Cavs.
Yeah, we were the 7 seed. They were the 2. We got swept, and it's okay, Smart got 4 games of reps. I don't know. Is that why he was a good playoff performer? I don't know. It's kind of hard. I just think to me, it's just about asset accumulation right now, because you're going to have to turn. You're going to have to generate talent on this roster some way, somehow. And the 8th pick has real legitimate value that you can turn into a high level
Yegor
performer. Yeah, you get Yegor Demon, man. That'd be huge. Physically huge. Otherwise, not so much. But it's so if you can take the 7th pick and then attach it to Baylor Shireman or whatever, maybe you can actually go out and get somebody. Whereas if it's the 20th pick and you lose in 6 in the first round, I don't think that has a ton of value to me. The Jays have their playoff resumes, right? And they're the key.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you have to move off Hauser, would you want someone like Baylor to get exposure to that, so that the first time he's potentially high leverage situation isn't when Tatum is back? And it's I don't know. I go back and forth on it, because I do think playoff reps matter no matter how many you get. Could be 4 games, could be 1 round, 2 round. Especially when you're dealing with young players who you are going to have to rely on and need to be cost effective, I don't want their first taste of playoff basketball to be when Tatum and Brown are back, and maybe he starts looking around because he's like, none of these guys are ready. There's no avenue for us to flip them. I don't know. That's like worst case scenario, I think.
So I just wanted to pull up the numbers here. So in 54 minutes last season, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Neemias Queta, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser had a net rating of 2.04, which would be not an awesome team. And then you think
wins probably.
Yeah. But then you think about who you're bringing off the bench. I don't know. And then also you're talking about getting Baylor some more minutes here, Jack. Like, can Brad Stevens and just kind of crank up? Hey, you're playing Jaylen 31 minutes a night. You're playing Derek 32 minutes a night. You're not playing them 35 minutes a night. They're not playing back-to-backs. You're playing Baylor Scheim 15 minutes. You're playing Hugo Gonzalez 12 minutes a night. Like, we're not tanking, but we're not loading up Derek and Jaylen. We're making sure those minutes are lower.
Maybe you tell them to keep nursing that sore ankle for a couple more games.
Exactly.
Like that. Yeah.
Just give yourself a little bit better of a chance.
Yeah, it's hard because, like, let's say they roll into the starting lineup is like what you said: Pritchard, Derek, Jaylen, Hauser, and Nemi. Right? Then that's Niang, that is Shireman, that is Hugo Gonzalez, that is
Amari
Williams, sure, Shoga if you want to throw him in there. Jordan Walsh can get some minutes, right? You have Tillman as a backup center, Niang, right? Whatever. It's a mess, right? You still have Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, but that also, like, who knows, right? Like, maybe Shireman is a lot better than you think, because it's so hard to actually evaluate talent until they get the opportunity, right? Think about Peyton Pritchard on a $9 million contract because he didn't get rotation minutes, and now look at him, right? Like, it's just truly impossible to know how good certain players are, and it's not like Shireman was drafted like this, undrafted guy, and Pritchard was a lottery pick who just never cracked the rotation. He was a 20-something overall pick, like, right? So these are all like professional basketball players for a reason. I'm not saying Hugo Gonzalez or Baylor Scheim or Jordan Walsh is going to turn into the next, right, like, second round Hall of Famer. But if you give them these 15, 20 minutes a night, you instill them with confidence and you see what happens, right? Maybe it will end up being a good thing in the long run. It's going to be ugly in the short term, but I think we always talk about how situation is important. I think giving minutes to players is the only real way to gauge how talented they'll be. And maybe this season will be a blessing in disguise a few years down the road. Who knows?
That's almost why I want them to offload Niang's money, not just because, just like, it's not from his skill set. Obviously, they need the shooting, all that. But if this is a gap developmental year, I don't want a 32-year-old who's not part of the future eating rotation minutes. Like, just give those to Walsh and Baylor and let them sink or swim, because we know that Niang isn't going to be here long term. But if you give that developmental minutes to your younger players, like, it's sort of why I was almost bummed that they signed Torrey Craig, even though he never played as a buyout guy, because it's like, give those minutes to Jordan Walsh just to see what he has. If this is going to be your get under the tax, punt, get developmental minutes, like, you don't need Niang for $8 million playing 15, 20 minutes a night. That just seems counterproductive.
Sam?
Yeah, just to pile on with Greenie, it could be like a big tryout year for some of the fringe guys. Like, if you want to gear up, just kind of to tie it back to, like, talking about figuring out who's going to be on the Tatum return team in 26, 27, this is a great sample size to see who's ready to play real minutes, who's not, who's going to thrive when they're out there for more playing time, and who's going to struggle or who's going to get exposed for their weaknesses when you're put in a situation where you have to defend for more than just a 6-minute stint. When you're in there for the whole game, who's going to get targeted. And when you're considering how to build a strong roster for presumably a deep playoff run in the 26-27 season, this is going to be a great, like, laboratory test tube experiment to see which guys you think fit within that rotation.
There's definitely guys
do any of you guys have, or maybe you know it off the top of your head, is Walsh's second team option for next year non-guaranteed, right? Or like $200K guaranteed? So it's like,
it's not
you need to either make a decision on him one way or another.
Yeah.
So it's like, you haven't played him in 3 years. You picked up his option, I believe, already, right? I think it was, or maybe that's opening night roster guarantee. But if he's not a full-on guarantee, so you could be losing him. Like, it just makes me confused if they were to say offload Hauser but keep Niang. Like that would just be very confusing to me from a contract and how your roster looks and the decisions you need to make, knowing that some guys have non-guaranteeds moving forward.
Walsh is $200K guaranteed, fully guaranteed opening night. And then the 26-27 season is just a club option, not guaranteed.
Oh, okay. So like there you go. So it's like
he's a way you can save a little bit of money, I believe, right? Like you can kind of cut him and then redo an Amari Williams or something like that on the old Jordan Walsh type contract, similar to JD Davidson. I think you can save money by cutting him at training camp, which I think that they'll probably do. I think we'd just change course a little bit here. So Jaren Jackson just signed a 48 average annual salary, but Santi Aldama just signed for 3 years, 53.5. And I've been thinking about, let's say they don't dodge the tax and they go into they keep Simons, they basically just stay below the second apron. They lose Al and Luke. Because I think I've been saying Brad's just like Doctor Strange here. There's so many different ways that this could go. And let's say they keep Hauser, they keep Niang, and they keep Simons. And the idea is to then restructure Simons on a cheap deal, because you've seen Poole get moved. You've seen all these like Colin Sexton. Danny Ainge gave up value to trade Colin Sexton for Yusuf Nurkic. Danny Ainge washed his hell, sadly.
He can blame that one on Austin. That was Austin, not him.
Yeah. So what does a Spoonie, what does a Simons deal look like? Because it feels like the market free agency wise is just evaporated. It doesn't, no one has cap space. So like if you want to negotiate with someone, it's like, well, okay, you get to go play with these two teams and you better hope that they want you. And if not, then you're completely screwed, similar to what the Houston did with Fred VanVleet, getting him back on 25 annual as opposed to the 50. Can you get Simons? Santi Aldama just signed for 17.5 annual salary. He's better than Simons. Is he? I think so. I mean, talk about trying to win.
Shit, Finney Smith to the Rockets. They gave
him Lakers. Fuck you, Lakers. Let's go. Let's go.
Did you guys see that rumor that Pelinka was going around telling people his knee was completely shot and it got back to him?
Finney Smith.
Is absurd. That is malpractice.
Is that why he turned down his player option?
Okay, tell that story. I have not heard that at all.
Okay, so essentially there's a rumor going around. I think it was Anthony Slater who might have said it first, that Pelinka was going around and dropping hints that DFS's knee is dead and destroyed in hopes he could get him for a lower amount. Crazy. And then it got back to Finney Smith and he was basically like, fuck you, I'm out. I don't want to be here anymore.
Good.
Yes.
Something bad happened to that.
He's good. They needed him.
So he got more years, but his player option was $15 million, and he just signed for a 13.25 annual. That's huge, man. The Rockets are making a fucking push here.
Yeah. Love it.
He was important for the Lakers. Oh my god, they desperately needed
3 seconds, I think, for him.
What a ridiculous graphic. What are we doing? Why are we putting him next to KD? Yeah, B-ball Paul's going back to the Pistons.
Let's go. Okay, but so Finney Smith gets 13.25, Santi Aldama gets 17.5 annual.
Wait, hold on. Is the backup big market just 2 for 12, 2 for 11?
Yeah,
is that good news for us?
The big market stinks though.
They re-signed. I don't know if he's setting the backup big market.
Yeah, he stinks.
I think he just re-signed with them.
2 of 12, 2 for 12.
Well, Steven Adams got 13 though a year. I feel like Luke's probably closer to Steven Adams, right?
Man, this is.
I don't know. I'm trying to cope right now.
Well, there's so many.
Right, Greenie. I take it back.
The big men
these 2 for 12. That's what I want.
Yeah, Sam. The options for big men are rough, but yeah.
Take your pick: Tristan Thompson, DeAndre Jordan, Thomas Bryant, Jackson Hayes, Mamu.
Yeah,
I'm in Charles Bassey. Mamu, Charles Bassey. I don't think those two. Trendon Watford. Go over at that point, and I might do a video on it. Go overseas, find the next Tice. At that point, just screw whoever else is here. Go find I've been looking at some guys who played well overseas. I don't know how much you guys watch NBL. I need to watch that, but Will Magnay,
my boy,
yeah, at that point, just take a dart. You don't have shit on the roster. If you lose
he's
your
a dog.
Go take a stab, right? Why not?
That's a
They were scouting Nigel Hayes, so clearly
local
some thought process.
Local boy, Jack Magnay.
I don't know. I'm falling in love with Mamu over the last 48 hours.
He's solid, but he's more of a 4 though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's more, but he's like 6'10" ish.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take him.
But I just remember there was this one year he was on the Bucks summer league team, and I saw him like destroy like the Carson Edwards Celtics summer league team or something. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Mamu's kid is really, baby.
Nothing ever developed with him, and then you're like watching the Spurs, and he's popping out for like 35 with 6 threes, and you're like, this was a born for Missoula ball 6'10" player on a minimum.
I've told the story a million times, but the day of the draft, the Grizzlies signed Cam Spencer to a contract. The day, like as the draft was coming up when Mamu was getting drafted, I just tweeted like no tag, no nothing. I was watching like the combine. I'm like, damn, Mamu's kind of cool. And he like DM'd me. He goes, yeah, let's go prove him wrong. I'm like, hell yeah, fuck it, hell, okay.
Jackson.
I mean, it doesn't really.
We're gonna be in desperate needs of like good vibe guy, and I can just see all of us rallying behind Mamu as like the ultimate vibe guy. He just seems. I don't know. There was just the interview that he gave after he made like 7 straight threes in April of last year. He just seems like, a good vibe.
Put the chain on him.
Wait, what happened?
Nothing. Flavor Flav put the chain on Mamu after the game. He came up to him and gave him like a chain and everything. It was great.
Cam Spencer, huge. I got him confused with, is it Pat? Who's the guy on the Warriors that played lacrosse?
Pat Spencer.
Pat Spencer. They're brothers,
Number 61.
Right? Yeah. I actually Loki thought he was pretty solid considering he was like a two-way rookie.
Cross player.
Hook shots in a playoff game.
So I do think that Jock Landale, speaking of Australians as well, with like I don't think his $8 million option has been picked up by the Rockets, and he's good. He's solid. He's like a good decision maker. It would be sound defensively. He's like a little bit small. And the shooting never really came around, but he would definitely fit the good vibes thing. He actually told a story on like a podcast recently, like the night that he signed that like 3-year, $8 million deal. Like, I gotta see if I can fix this. I think that's better. All right. Like he was like out smashed, and his agent was like, "Bro, you have to like talk to Ime Udoka in like 90 minutes. You better get your shit together. And this could be like the most important phone call of your life." And doesn't really remember what he said to Ime, and then wakes up a couple hours later and he's got like a 4-year, $8 million or $32 million deal to play for the Houston Rockets. And it has like barely played since then. Oh, sorry, yeah. I've been talking about Jock O'Clock for several years here. But then at the same time, does that kind of go against what we were saying earlier about just like play Amari Williams, see if Cater can develop more, just bring in some other random guy that Jack's talking about.
Were you a big fan of Timu Porzingis, the guy the Wolves picked at like 44, that 7'4" monster?
Rocco?
Yeah.
I was. He was on my list.
Devastated when the pick came in on the playback.
He is huge. Sam, I don't know, like the market for these undersized, basically like Tyler Hero, Anthony Simons, Jordan Poole, these guys that were signed off their rookie deals and on the promise of them developing more overall as opposed to just being a scoring guard. Hero's really been the only one that's taken that contract and probably going to be a guy that I think gets another really good contract. I don't see Poole getting another big contract. I don't see Anthony Simons getting a big contract. So does it make sense to keep Simons and then re-sign him to a 3 for 45, and then you get under the tax by getting like the following season as the salaries come down? I'm not sure if that's technically possible, but I guess you don't need your taxpayer mid-level exception or non-taxpayer mid-level exception. You have Simons signed to that $15 million deal. So I wonder if that's, again, flexibility. They look both exploring trades, but also like, can you get Anthony Simons like a scam deal?
Well, the great part about Anthony Simons is you do have him. Like, you can communicate with him, you can talk to him, you can feel out what his thought process is going forward, what his goals are.
Technically not yet.
Well, once he arrives, like maybe on the ride back from the airport, you can hit him up and be like, "Hey, what do you think of this long term?" Because long term, there is the selling point of, hey, Tatum's coming back. Like, this team's going to be really, really good, Anthony. you haven't really been on a great team since you came into the league. This could be your opportunity to be a part of a winning thing here in Boston. And if you sign back for less money, that's possible in the long term. Whereas like these other guys you mentioned, the market is not going to be there. Like teams are looking at what's happening with the CBA. Like they're all sitting with their popcorn watching the Celtics implode and have to play Jenga with the team to try and avoid the tax penalties. And they're like, well, we don't want to be a part of this. Why would we spend a bunch of money on, guy who can't defend and might be cool to watch on offense sometimes, but he's not going to bring you a championship.
I guess the question is, does anybody else value him as an expiring asset, as like the same way the Celtics would, right? Like if he plans out, you sign him for less, or you let him walk and you get the salary relief. That's, I think, what we just don't know is like, we just saw Ayton expiring. No one traded for that and got bought out. Same thing with the dude who was $14 million. That just Jordan Clarkson, right? Nobody wanted those expiring deals just for that being an asset, probably because of what it means for your apron space. Somehow Brad was able to offload Porzingis's, right? But like, I can't ever remember a time where a team was willing to probably give away Ayton for free, and nobody was like, no, we don't even want the salary relief asset because of what it means for the apron. Now you get $35 million players getting bought out. Is like, when is the last time that happened?
So there's been 2 other players ever that have been bought out on like max rookie extensions. One of them was Ben Simmons. And who was the other one? Fuck, I'm forgetting who the other one was. It's not good. It's not a good thing.
Ben Simmons, noted basketball lover.
Yeah. Not a good thing for DeAndre Ayton. Not a good thing for Ben Simmons. And I really wish I could remember who the other person was. I think Trill tweeted it. But like, Ayton's going to be really interesting to me because he is like the classic. I think if you haven't been watching Ayton, and why would you be watching too much of the Portland Trailblazers or paying attention? Like, he's someone you can talk yourself into. You're like, hey, man, he was the starting center on a finals team. He went toe-to-toe with prime Jokic. That dude, like, is a little cat. He like the opposite of a dog. I want him to sign with the Lakers so badly because I guarantee you he's getting death. Oh, I don't want him to get death threats, but like he's going to be getting
LeBron's bus.
He'll be getting right under LeBron's bus as they closely monitor the. We didn't even get to talk about the Lakers for Spoonie, but like he's getting thrown right under the bus. Lakers fans will hate him because they actually know a little bit about basketball. It's like, we know when guys don't fucking try, and he's going to be like cooking these bad teams. As soon as things get tough, he's going to quit and it's going to tank their season. Man, the Lakers are in trouble. Please don't go there, Luke. Please.
He almost seems like the player where like the idea of him is better than the player that you're actually, because you look at the stats, it's like 7 straight years, double, 60% true shooting. You're like, how can this guy be for free? And then you have him on your team and you're like, oh, now I understand why every team wants nothing to do with him. I mean, I would rather play Amari Williams 40 minutes a game than bring in Ayton on any type of minimum. Like, you can't stray too away from your culture, right? And if we're losing Drew, we're losing Al. Like, you're losing a lot of culture pieces that I think you have to be cognizant of moving forward, I think.
Plus, it could get icy here, and he might just use that as.
He might not be able to go to practice.
Yeah. Like if you're like the Lakers, you don't have to worry. Like he can't say it's too icy to get to the arena, but Celtics, you better watch out.
That was one of the most insane.
Oh my god!
I think we've ever heard. Like it's too icy. What does that even mean? Like,
I think
like walk down the street and take an Uber. Like,
bro, insane. I think that's a good point, Greenie, and I'd like to shout out my dad for coining the no dickhead policy that Brad Stevens has been utilizing since taking over. Like, he only brings in good dudes and guys that like want to win, want to try and get better. It doesn't always lead to them getting better. But like, he hasn't brought in any Kyries. He hasn't brought in anybody like that. It's always like high character individuals. And I'm not sure he's doing that on purpose, but it does feel like he probably is because he understands the value of culture. And if it's going to be a down year, I can really get on board with a team that's going to just be like, let's say they're good enough to be the 6th or the 7th seed, but playing the young guys. They're playing hard every single night. It's like, I know what I'm going to get. It's like when the Hospital Celtics would play over the past 2 seasons, you knew if like Jalen was out or if Drew was out, you were going to get a really big game from Peyton Pritchard or a really big game from Sam Hauser. You knew if Luke, the Stay Ready crew guys, if they were playing more minutes, you know you were getting a max effort game, similar to what you saw in Game 5 of the Knicks series. So like I can get on board with that type of team where Hugo Gonzalez is flying around with that 6'11" wingspan. I don't want to bring in some like Niang was a good contract and good deal to make because you got off the Porzingis deal. Like that all made sense. I don't want them signing like veterans minimum X, Y, and Z that are 31 years old that are going to, as you said, steal minutes from Amari.
That's
Williams
what I'm
and
saying.
Gonzalez.
You should have an age, like be an ageist. No one 30 years or older is allowed to. Yeah, like if you're going to commit to it, but not sell off your core pieces, you have to see like. This is why I was relieved to see they didn't waive J.D. Davison. I feel the same way about him when it comes to backup point guard. Like at some point,
you've given up on
investing in
J.D.
these
Davison.
players.
Unbelievable.
Like just see what they are. If they suck, okay, great. You're in the high lottery. If they're good, awesome. You found a diamond in the rough. Like I feel like the only bad decision would be bringing in older veterans who aren't part of your future on a minimum. Like just invest in younger players on a minimum and play the guys that you have on your roster now. So, which means Brad will probably bring in like a 38-year-old and play him like 25 minutes a night.
As long as it's Al Horford, then I'm fine with it. Maybe we can go back a little bit because there's maybe the fact that some moves happened prior to free agency, but so far this has been quite weird. So some moves that happened yesterday over the past couple of days here. The Cleveland Cavaliers trading for Lonzo Ball, sending out Okoro, re-signing Sam Merrill to a Sam Hauser type contract, basically signaling that Ty Jerome is going to be gone. Jack, I don't know. What did you think about this move for the Cavs? Did you think it's like a needle mover? Do you think it's like kind of reshuffling the deck chairs? What did you think of Lonzo to the Cavs?
For the Cavs, I think it's great. I mean, they're probably going to lose Ty Jerome in the next whenever Shams decides to start.
Yeah, like
again.
2 weeks? What are you doing, Shams?
Yeah, I don't really know. But I love it for the Cavs. I think Lonzo Ball is like almost underrated at this point. Like he didn't play great last season. He didn't, wasn't super efficient, but he can still kind of shoot the ball.
Nick Laravia.
The Lakers get their Dorian Finney-Smith replacement.
That's not bad, actually. I don't hate that. At least they signed someone who can shoot instead of Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, and Gabe Vincent. But I like Lonzo. I think it's like at worst you get Isaac Okoro who can also handle the ball, right? Like let's say Lonzo's shooting doesn't get back to close to where it was. Like it's not like you lost shooting, right? So I think you just get a equally as good defender, equally as good shooter, but at least a better ball handler version of Isaac Okoro. And I think the upside's greater for the 3-point shooting and the defense with Lonzo anyways. So
honestly, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's the price.
Because I'm pretty sure Lonzo's year 2 next year is non-guaranteed or partially guaranteed, whereas
team option.
Okoro was full non-team option. So they're already a second apron team. So it's like,
yeah,
you almost have to wonder if the Bulls have any idea what they're doing. Because from the Cleveland side, it obviously makes sense in the event that Garland goes down or you need to off-sell, pieces from your backcourt. I mean, Okoro was unplayable for them in a playoff series. So it's like you got the better player in theory who's on a better contract. That was a very bizarre trade for the Bulls.
Oh, we've got Chris Haynes, Shams beef. Who will take down the Jake LaRavia sweepstakes?
I'm rooting for Chris Haynes. He needs it so bad. I Shams is like typically Chris Haynes' source when he posts.
I know. I'm really worried that Chris Haynes just has the thing wrong and he just like misread the tweet. I really hope that that's not what has happened to Haynes' briefs. He may have dropped one by accident.
I bet Haynes saw the Shams tweet, saw the Kings jersey, and tweeted Kings.
Yeah, I really think that that's what happened. I really think that's what happened. Oh, God damn it.
See, everyone just
Payne
wants
was
to
right.
be first. It's like, just let Shams do it, and then we'll all react to it. I never understood that. Like,
me neither.
We're all going to learn about it within the next 3 seconds. So just who cares?
Yeah. I like it for the Cavs. Like, if you were going, what I need to know is, does Lonzo come? Were they losing Ty Jerome no matter what? I think, because if that's the case, then this is a great move. If bringing in Lonzo led them to losing Ty Jerome more, which I don't see why it would, because he makes the same amount as Isaac Okoro, then it's definitely a no-brainer. Isaac Okoro is a 0 in the playoffs. There's never been a more fake good shooter. Mm-hmm. Like, he's like one of those guys. If your team trades for him and you haven't been paying attention, you check his basketball reference. He's like, hey, he's been shooting 39% from 3 for the past 2 seasons here on wide open catch and shoot corner threes, and as soon as he gets to the playoffs, he gets left wide open, and it completely tanks your offense by having him out there. Have we got something?
Haynes back down. He revised it. Yeah.
That was the most obvious thing ever. He definitely fucking saw the purple uniform and thought Kings. Yeah. God damn it.
Live odds were like minus 900 Shams.
So I like Jake LaRavia, but that's a clear loss.
Hugo Gonzalez is in Boston. That's what I was looking at.
He's
on his Instagram story.
Okay.
Hugo has arrived. He's going to be in Vegas then if he's already in Boston?
I think so.
See, my thing is, if I had to speculate, I think the reason Brad was like unsure about it is because he like just finished up his season on June 25th. So if they want to give him like, let's not just have him playing right away. Let's give him a little bit of time to rest. Maybe. However, it did sound like he wanted him to, but he was just going to be like, we'll feel it out once he gets over here.
How about game 2 on the 13th?
Oh man, I'm going to be so jealous of Hugo live. But also there is Eurobasket, and he will be playing for Spain. So I thought that was the reason why he wouldn't be going to Summer League, is because he might be in like Euro.
So now I have to split out Danilo Gallinari Eurobasket experiment and hope that he just doesn't tear his ACL.
Man, what a watch Hugo versus Porzingis.
Oh my God, the Latvia Spain. Yeah,
how mad will you be if Porzingis is like automatic and dynamite?
Super mad.
Killing switches and
I'm gonna want an investigation into my Kristaps Porzingis' gambling activity potentially.
I did see that stuff on the timeline today. Certain individual was like, all the players do it. Did you see that?
Who I appreciate the happy birthday message, GRD, if you're listening. But yeah, that was potentially. I wouldn't have messaged that one potentially, considering what just happened to Malik Beasley. Speaking of Malik Beasley, does Detroit Pistons, could they use a Georges Niang?
That's what I'm saying. They need a shooter. They can absorb his money into space and not send anything back.
Yeah.
Like,
can you get a second round
picks and be done with it?
Perfect. You know? That's the type of moves I'm thinking of, because like, again, he's a perfect regular season like 8th guy for them to just play off of Cade and eat minutes. We're all aware that no one has more wins in the past 10 years than Georges Niang, right? It's Niang followed by Tatum.
I hear that, but when he was on the Cavs, what did we all say? Oh, I can't wait till Georges Niang tries to play a lick of defense. But you know, it's like,
yes, but Greenie, no one can guard Tatum. Every team has that one guy. There's a difference between can you guard Jason Tatum and can you help a team win in the regular season. Those are two very different things. Slowing down the Celtics.
A bit of a red flag that the Cavs knew that they had to upgrade that spot and used him to bring in DeAndre Hunter. It's like,
there's the Cavs have a specific like wing problem. It's like, while Niang was technically our 8th man, we have this problem with our roster where like our 4 best players don't optimize each other. So we're having to like shuffle in our bench wings in order to like counteract that. Now, I think that Niang being a playoff guy is a problem, and I think that we've seen that. But again, Malik Beasley also turns into a pumpkin every time he gets into the playoffs. Isaac Okoro, I'm all about those guys, but $8.5 million for a guy that can hit open threes and process the game and make decisions, I think is a huge. Oh, Hugo posted a photo on Boston. Shams, you're getting slow, brother. You missed this one. But yeah, that's the type of team that could take Georges Niang. The Rockets though, this is have they emerged as the clear number 2 team in the West now? When you think about Durant going there, they desperately needed some shooting because Dylan Brooks, not my favorite player, but he filled a very specific need for the Rockets, and I thought it was a little bit underrated that he went out in that trade. They've just immediately replaced him with Dorian Finney-Smith and getting Kevin Durant, plus the growth of Amen, Şengün, Jabari Smith, Reed Shepherd, all those like high pedigree young guys. You bake in some development from them.
They should be. I mean, barring health, they were already the 2 seed.
Yeah.
Am
I gonna have to put aside my Ime Udoka stuff and root for the Rockets because I think I prefer them to win than the OKC Thunder, Sam?
I hope they rebrand. Like I actually hate their current uniforms, and I think they need to do that to get over the hump. I love KD. Wish he played for the Celtics. My favorite non-Celtic probably ever. But they have a hoss of a roster. And they did a really good job of keeping their young core together despite going after Durant and Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith is just an incredible role player addition to that group. So I'm interested to see how they look in the West next year. They certainly have the dogs to compete. OKC is still going to be a force, though. But 2 kind of cut above teams, I feel like now. Would you agree, or do you think like there are other teams on that level? I feel like Denver's a step below. I feel like Minnesota's probably a step below. Lakers aren't there. Clippers probably aren't there.
There's always one team that always makes a jump, right? But
especially out there.
I mean, I would say the Nuggets, but they don't really have any avenues to make drastic needle-moving changes or additions, barring, flipping MPJ's money.
But
is it the Spurs? Like, do the Spurs?
Yeah, like the Spurs could make that jump, maybe.
The Spurs just have such a weird roster now. They have Fox, Castle, Vassell, and
or
Harper.
is it the Mavs? Is it the Mavs?
With Kyrie still out, I don't know. Like relying on him to be the contender when he's ACL. Then what I will say about the Nuggets, similar to the Rockets but way less pedigree. Do you get progression from Peyton Watson, Christian Brown, Jalen Pickett, Hunter Tyson, Julian Strother, and Dayron Holmes, who they drafted last year, who tore his Achilles? I'm going to be rooting for him to have the best rookie season ever because that'll be great news for Jason Tatum's Achilles recovery. They've got like 5 young guys where it's like, I guess Christian Brown doesn't count, but like 5 young guys that if they all take steps, if Dayron Holmes come in and be like, good, because he was a really touted prospect, and then I do think that they have their taxpayer mid-level because they're not in the aprons. They could sign a Horford, and the fact that they took the Thunder to 7 games, they don't need much. They had like 4.5 dudes. Like, can they just be the same but like add a guy and a half?
You fall under like. They were an Aaron Gordon game winner from winning. Yes, they took them to 7, but like it's kind of like how much of that was just one, game winner prayer, or are they really that close? Because they did get blown out a couple of times too in that series. So it's like you have to decide which one of those teams are you? Because then it's like, do you make a go for it move? Because you're right there, or is it we're actually not close? Aaron Gordon, like Russell Westbrook, just had a prayer situation where he passed the ball on a fast break, and Aaron Gordon made a great shot. It's like, if he had missed that and they lost in, 5, are you now sitting here saying, oh, they're close to OKC?
The Warriors too, like they're probably like talking themselves into. We're in it next year, 23-7 with Jimmy when he played at the end of the season, and Steph hurt his hamstring when they lost to Minnesota. And, of course, they're lurking around Al Horford like their jaws. So I'm sure they believe that they're towards the upper echelon of the West, too.
Jack, what are your thoughts on Denver here? Because, again, they MPJ shoulder and a hamstring away from maybe winning Game 7 as well.
The Nuggets? Oh, man. I feel like the Timberwolves would be the biggest threat in the West outside of the Rockets and the Thunder, right? Like for as much as we look at we looked at them coming into this year like, oh, they downgraded from Cat, and then they still made the Western Conference Finals. Like, oh, they're gonna lose, but like they still have Anthony Edwards, they still have elite defenders around him and Rudy Gobert. They retained Naz Reid. have Rudy Gobert and Anthony Edwards still. They're going to bring back whoever else. Like, I don't know. I feel like they get looked over if too much at this point, if anything. Like, I don't know. They still have an elite roster. They still had a roster almost identical to the one that just went to the Western Conference Finals pretty convincingly, right? Until they got there, right? They 5-1 2 teams in a row. And I know Steph was hurt, but everyone's hurt every season. Doesn't matter. Like, it's 2 years in a row now. So I don't know. I feel like they could be a team to watch. And then, I mean, the Nuggets, if they have Jokic, are always going to be. Oh, look at them go.
I think that's a good point on the Wolves. They're sitting here being like, hey, bro, we just made 2 Western Conference Finals in a row. They did get smoked in both Western Conference Finals.
It's true.
But you never want to think of it just in the lens of one team, because I'm sure everybody in the East was like, we're going to have to go through Boston if we want to, make the finals. And obviously that was not the case. But like, unless OKC gets injured, like, and they're so young that they feel like Caruso's really the only older guy who does have an injury history. They're such a bad matchup for the Timberwolves. Would be my only thing. Is it like the Rockets kind of fall into this as well. They're so good at forcing turnovers, and the Timberwolves just have such a tough time holding onto the ball against an elite defense. And that would be my only, which is why the Nuggets gave him such a good run, because like no Jokic is crazy. So holding on to it.
During the finals, I looked it up. It was after one of like the Pacers' 25 turnover game.
Yeah.
The Nuggets had something crazy, like 160 turnovers against OKC in their 7 games. It was some like everyone else floated around like 98, 97, 100. And then the Nuggets had like 160 or something insane like that.
That's crazy. I didn't know that because that's kind of one of their superpowers is that with Jokic and Murray, they don't turn it over that much. It was weird. That was what's funny, that the Thunder were able to win the title. And I feel like everybody that had doubts about them when it pertains to their offense was kind of proven right, but their defense was just so good that it didn't matter.
I think it was either Simmons or Russillo made the point. It's like OKC they're like, okay, we can have a middling offense because we know we're getting 20 to 25 points off your turnovers. So we don't need they only have I think it was like the 8th or 9th best effective field goal percentage on the year. Like, it's not like they were some offensive juggernaut, but the way they're able to generate live ball turnovers is like, that's the kryptonite that's like your safety net if you have Ty Jones.
Trey Jones.
Yeah, Trey Jones.
To the Bulls. Speaking of, what are the Bulls doing? No one knows. $8 million for Trey. Wait, how many years is that?
They just kind of spin a wheel.
3 years.
That's a lot for Trey Jones.
They just want to play like 6 point guards at once, I think. So I think they're going to roll out like Josh Giddey, Trey Jones, Desuni,
what are they doing?
White, and Javon Carter all at the same time and see what happens. Just because
we won't hear about restricted free agents, right? Because like Josh Giddey's a restricted free agent. Is that accurate? Or is he unrestricted now? Okay.
Well, we're here if he gets like an offer sheet, right?
Sure. Okay.
Theoretically.
Just want to shout out RJ for the super chat here. Speaking of the Clippers, when is Ballmer's money showing up? Also, what does this radio silence imply overall? Great live cast. I did see a comment in the chat here. There was apparently a report that the NBA asked agents and Shams to wait until the ESPN broadcast started, which I think started 1 minute ago. So I spoke to the agents. They promised me that they were going to start during the How About Them Celtics versus the Floor crossover show, but they appear to be.
Why the hell did the ESPN broadcast not start when free agency opened?
I hate ESPN. Just despise them.
I think it's a ratings thing. 7 p.m. is a better slot than 6 p.m.
Then move free agency to 7 p.m. It's not like it matters. Everyone's talking anyways. Like,
it used to be midnight, so it's what's the difference?
Yes,
primetime TV, midnight.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Shams and stuff and Scotto are spoiling the draft, but they are willing to move free agency back an hour. Don't quite understand that one. The Ballmer's money will pop up at some point. I just saw like the Rockets are out on Nickeil Alexander-Walker. That makes sense considering they got Finney Smith. Clippers are viewed as a long shot to get him. It's still Atlanta and Detroit. So yeah, like if Detroit and Atlanta, can you send Niang back to Atlanta? If Atlanta and Detroit miss out on Alexander-Walker, so I guess we hope that D'Angelo Russell
That one we knew that he was going to.
Okay, well there goes my Anthony Simons to the Mavericks dreams. I think because D'Angelo, they're the same to me. I like watching Simons more. Every time D'Angelo Russell does anything on the basketball court, he looks like he's just trying to do it, but do it cool, and it pisses me off. But
listen, I'm super relatively low on Simons based on a lot of people. I feel like the thing that gets underestimated with Simons versus a lot of these other guards like Jordan Poole and Tyler Hero even is yes, they are similar in the sense they are high volume, not great defensive guards. Anthony Simons is a better shooter than all of them. Pure 3-point shooter, catch and shoot, better than all of them. Jordan Poole shoots 32% throughout his career. Even when he was with the Warriors with Steph and them, I don't think he was incredible efficiency wise. Maybe he was better, but Anthony Simons, no matter the stop, has at least been a 38% or better 3-point shooter. And when he was with Dame and CJ, it was 47%.
Oh yeah, catch and shoot wise,
he's an elite shooter.
Yeah, catch and shoot numbers, he's 41% plus.
I just look at it like it's the Bizarro World Derek White trade, right? Derek White, you had to fix his offense, but defensively he was there. Simons has the offense, but you have to fix his defense. So it's if they do keep him, is the gamble we can turn him into a passable defender the same way they probably felt we can turn Derek White into a passable shooter. Because you have to, I've come to the acceptance stage of my grief where it's you have to get past the idea that the Celtics roster will be filled with guys who do not have a flaw one way or another, right? Someone's now going to get targeted defensively. Somebody's not going to be, a creator or knockdown shooter. The roster that we experienced for 2 years was a basketball anomaly. And I think when you look around the rest of the league, I think it was Jake, you said it earlier, everyone has one guy that you can target. That's normal in the NBA. So if Simons just has to be your guy that you can target, maybe that's what a normal roster looks like in this new CBA world, because we built the existing Celtics roster pre-CBA. So I just think we're so used to saying, oh, we can't rely on this guy. He has defensive issues. He can't guard. Well, welcome to 95% of the NBA where every player has a flaw. I just think we need to accept that reality, because you're not going to build a 5-man unit that can't be targeted 1 through 5, that has, 9 guys deep that could be on a guy's starting rotation. I just don't think that's a realistic future, knowing how, teams are constricted.
Oh yeah, look, the Clippers built one of the best defenses in the NBA with James Harden playing the most minutes on the team. The Portland Trailblazers had one of the best defenses in the NBA in the second half of the season, and Anthony Simons played pretty much every single one of those games. You can work around one guy. The Pacers honestly built a really capable defense around Halliburton. Obi Toppin's not a good defender. Matherin's not a good defender. But as long as you can get guys to buy in to the team concept, you can still build a good enough defense. And if he's going to be surrounded by Jalen, Jason, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard's turned into a good guard defender now as well. And Amari Williams, 3-time defensive player.
Shit.
Fuck.
MPJ.
For who?
Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson.
Oh, huge. What a fucking great trade.
The Nuggets are back.
That probably clears up probably 10 mil for
That's
them?
10 mil.
Wow.
That's 10 mil. And a 2032
unprotected 32 pick.
Great trade. I love it.
Tremendous trade.
Now if Al, this is your time. Either come home or go to Denver.
Man,
what a
They
trade,
did
dude!
20 minutes too late. We were just talking about the Nuggets.
We were.
Timed it up better.
trade.
Well, this
trade.
is a big upgrade. Better defender and
Absolutely.
Better shot creator too. They can create for himself a little bit.
He's definitely
Just
taken
better
steps.
player.
And I just loved his take on the Achilles injury. I thought he was so well spoken on his stance on the Achilles. I
missed that. What did he say about the Achilles thing?
As a human.
What did he say about the Achilles thing? I missed that.
He just broke it down of it was just really really thoughtful of, he talked about how everyone wants to cut the number of games down, but there's no guarantee that does anything. He talked about how the idea of load management is, pretty much these teams trying to save players from themselves as opposed to guys just not wanting to play. It was his podcast, The Old Man in the 3 episode. I would recommend it. It's just really interesting to hear from a player side of like, they don't even know what the hell is going on with all those Achilles injuries. But he's like, if you trim the season down to 65 games, guys will just play 47 games instead of, he's like, that's not going to stop anyone from sitting, because he's like, we are tracked with every movement we take from the season and practice. So he's like, a lot of times when you see guys go out for load management, it's because they've crossed over into this threshold of like their player health tracking to where they're now at risk. I don't know. I just thought it was very, very interesting.
Grizzlies, Ty Jerome.
Grizzlies, 3 years, 28 mil.
That's phenomenal deal for Ty Jerome. Oh my god, or for the Grizzlies, dude.
I mean,
are you a Ty Jerome believer?
Oh yeah, I mean that's a Peyton Pritchard contract, right? Well, I'm not saying he's Peyton Pritchard, but he's a similar type player. 9 million a year,
a little bit more, right? That's like 9, 3 times. That's like almost 9.
Pritchard makes, maybe a little more. I mean, still though, like for the Grizzlies, if you're telling me they turned Desmond Bain into picks, which helped them flip stuff into extending Jaren Jackson at the right number, keeping Santi Aldama, drafting Cedric Howard, and signing Ty Jerome, like I'm chilling. I'm okay.
What I really want to know about this Denver trade is did that open up the full mid-level exception for them by getting $10 more out of that trade? Because I knew they had their taxpayer mid-level. Does that give them the ability to sign one more guy? Can they be the Nickeil Alexander-Walker team? Can they be the Luke Kornet or the Al Horford team? Because Cam Johnson to Denver is obviously huge. I think that, like at his best, MPJ is still a good player, but obviously the injury concerns. I think that when Jokic had to have that comment in the press conference in the playoffs, where it's like, if I have to tell you to lock in the fucking playoffs, then like I don't know what you're doing here. That was probably the end of Michael Porter Jr. right then and there. And
Schroeder to the Kings.
Okay. Well, that's another Niang thing for the Pistons have now lost Malik Beasley to a gambling scandal, and Dennis Schroeder to the. What are the Kings doing? What are the Kings doing?
Wait, who tweeted Schroeder?
Fred Katz.
Okay, I trust Katz.
Shout out, Matthew.
Okay.
No numbers, just that he will agree.
Okay. Yeah, Pistons. That's a problem for them because he was really
good for them.
He was really important.
Excellent.
I thought that he should have I was screaming at my TV to get him in the game more because they desperately needed someone else that could dribble, and he was defending Brunson really well. Niang's not going to help you with the ball handling and the guarding of Jalen Brunson, I don't think.
I mean, for what it's worth, I'm not saying this was good for the Pistons, but getting back Jaden Ivey should help some.
Sure, that's a good point.
You are just going to get back Jaden Ivey.
Yes, but it would be better to have both.
It would be better. Easily more so. But I think there are avenues for them to fill the stopgap.
Yeah, there's still guys.
Shooting. I mean, shit, if they get that desperate and they're going to give you 2 firsts for Hauser or something like that, how desperate are the Pistons going to get post Beasley?
Well,
right?
2 firsts feels insane, but would you take the 2020? Would you take a 2026 top 4 protected first for the Pistons for Hauser?
Oh yeah.
No, I'm scamming them. I'm saying if I'm Brad Stevens, I'm saying I'm perfectly happy. I'm perfectly happy keeping Sam Hauser and finding another way to do this. If you want Sam Hauser on your roster, you give me a first round pick and a protected first, or a first round and a pick swap, or you don't get him and you can figure out shooting elsewhere.
I would also demand that they send no money back.
Exactly.
That they can do.
That
you're doing it on my terms, or you don't get Sam Hauser. And if the Pistons say I'll figure it out elsewhere, then you say okay, I'll keep Hauser.
You're definitely in a good spot. Yeah, all right. I didn't realize Jack was this guy at the negotiating table.
Well, why wouldn't you be, right? If you are in this state of who fuck knows what's gonna happen next season, if you want one of my guys, overpay.
Even though it just got filled.
That's the opposite of the Pelicans' job. What?
I was saying if you want it, it'll be opening.
Nuggets have the full MLE now. That's huge. I wonder if they've got a second.
Yeah, but they have a lot of holes to fill. They got to fill up backup guard. They got to fill up a 4 spot potentially.
Yeah, But still, that's well. Could they
Who's
not
open
bring
for that,
Westbrook
though?
back on the minimum?
I mean, they could, but I'm just
Theoretically,
saying, it's not
I
like
think
they can go to
he-
Al and be like, "Here's 14
good.
mil."
I know, but I don't think he's
good.
taking the minimum. He could have just picked up his team option if he wanted to go back, right? Or his player option, excuse me.
I'm wondering if he
Kevin Porter Jr. back to the Bucks. Don't give a
Fuck
shit
that
about
guy.
him.
Whatever.
I wonder. Wait,
Loser.
Oh, man. That's you know what sucks. If you're a Bucks fan, not only did Dame tear his Achilles, not only do you have not own your own picks until 2030.
That's my Anthony Simons destination, by the way.
For okay, go on.
Pat Connaughton, and I don't know what the deadline is for them to reroute Bobby Portis, but if they find the salary to do Connaughton, Bobby Portis, and like minimums for Anthony Simons, that solves their need for actual guard play.
Are they not
Assembled
in
in
the?
Massachusetts.
Are they not in the second apron though?
Who?
The Bucks?
Because they traded
got out
Middleton.
of
No,
it.
because that's why they got
Kuzma.
off Middleton. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. All right. That's fucking sad as shit for the Celtics.
So Keith
don't
Smith
hate
just
Bobby
said
Portis.
I mean,
the Nuggets-
if you lose Kornet and Horford, you get Bobby Portis back. At least you got something, right, to play.
I would rather have Bobby Portis long term, probably. Oh fuck, I'm really not a big Bobby Portis guy.
wait, didn't
We've
he
ascended to
already?
the depths of hell.
Didn't he pick up his option?
No, they
He
extended
did. He
him.
re-signed. I'm just saying, like, if you
It'd
wait
be a
60
trade.
days or something, whatever it is, yeah.
So yeah, Keith Smith said Nuggets are 13.6 under first apron, so they pretty much can use the full. Access
You know who
to
I
the full
love
mid-level.
for the Nuggets?
Yeah.
Run it back with Bruce Brown. Come on home, buddy.
Oh,
Come on
interesting.
back. Come on home, man. Come run it back, brother.
Do you split your mid level in half and you get Horford for 6 and Bruce Brown for 7?
Maybe. I mean, listen, man. I don't know what else is there for them. Like, I'm looking at free agency right now. Bruce Brown would make some sense. I wouldn't hate that for them. Like, you look at the other guards they could potentially target. It's just Sham's follow
I
up.
just wanted to finish the Bucks thought on Kevin Porter Jr. here.
Please.
Not only is Dame torn his Achilles, RIP. Not only do you have not own any of your own picks, but you also have to root for the domestic abuser on your team in order to
Who
save.
Shams just gassed up, by the way.
I know.
Dynamic
and why?
playmaker.
Why did we just get that tweet from Shams? Porter averaged 11.7 points and 3.7.
I mean, that's just probably from
The agent fed him the news.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
that, dude. I hope Shams takes a fucking shower after sending that one out. Jesus Christ.
Someone
That's-
replied to him, "We don't need this info, Tubbs." That's fine. That's terrible.
They're right. They're right. Man, I can't believe ESPN fucked everybody by waiting till 9 o'clock to get all this stuff happening here. Those bastards. We'll probably go. Yeah, we'll go a little longer here. Probably like 9:45, and then I'll take a break. And we've got Nick NBA coming back on, and we'll do a bit of a scouting breakdown of Amari Williams and Matt Sugar.
I gotta be honest, dude.
Max.
I injected Jack's Hugo video so quickly into my veins.
Let's go.
I'm like, oh my god! Like, I'm an exclusive YouTube highlight talent evaluator, but I'm watching. I'm just diving on the floor. He's freaking
Bloody lip.
Actually, someone sent me like a international. I can't remember. It was like a Substack, and they talked about his shooting and how it was kind of like shitty production. But then this dude broke it down to like all these examples of Hugo getting these end of shot
Heaves,
clock grenades.
yes.
So it's like in theory, if you look at his mechanics, it's actually not that bad. And if you're getting him better quality looks, so it's like I just read that and I was like,
Oh yeah.
I'm high off that supply. And then I saw Jack's video and I'm like, I was a Hugo maniac before I even knew about it.
Bruce
There you
Brown
go,
to the
Crystal
Nuggets.
ball.
Bruce Brown,
Let's
man.
go.
Good
Come
call.
on.
Is that you, Jack?
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
Jack
What'd
was
I
sharp
say?
on the Porzingis trade too. He put the Hawks as the team on Houdini that day.
Oh
in the morning.
fuck. All right, Jack. We see you. We respect your game. We weren't familiar. Okay. I love it.
That makes so much sense. Oh my god. So what? They can roll out Jamal Murray, Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, Jokic.
Bruce Brown off the
Hey.
bench.
Hey man, or starting, right?
They
Or,
just get a little-
Christian Brown. They got, oh my god, yeah, holy shit.
They get a little development from Strother and Peyton Watson. Dayron Holmes
good.
off the Achilles.
pretty damn good, if you ask me. Who'd they draft this year? Anybody? Did they have a pick?
I don't think they had a pick, did they?
No, I think they had a second round pick. I think.
But they picked Jack. Who was the guy last year that he had a promise, and we had looked at him for the Celtics, but he didn't make
No
it there. We
Nuggets
liked
picks
him.
this year. Daron Holmes? No.
Daron Holmes was last year.
Yes.
That was the guy that Celtics fans. Horford to Denver, inevitable. I don't know if it's inevitable.
No.
That's
Well,
the
it
one.
depends. They haven't given the price on Bruce Brown.
Well,
He got-
that I think, at least to me, when Shams doesn't say the price, it's minimum because it's the agent. They don't want to put minimum on there. You know what I'm saying? Like the agent doesn't want minimum contract blasted. So
like,
that
right,
probably
but it could
means
be
they got
like,
Bruce for.
It could be like 8 of the 13.6.
Sure,
It could be.
Yeah.
But I feel like he would say like he got an $8 million 1 year, $8 million. Like if it's anything more than a minimum, they usually like say he got this.
Yeah.
Question: Do you? I am surprised that Horford is actually considering leaving. But if it's a minimum from Denver versus a minimum from Boston, do you think that he just wants to keep trying to win?
He
Like
just wants
that's
to
where
win,
his head.
which I respect. Yeah, it has to be.
I respect it. Do you think that impacts his? I saw this on.
Oh shit! Kevon Looney,
Hell,
2 years,
what are they
16
doing,
million
man?
Pelicans.
Jack, I told you that it's going to
There's your
open
Al Horford
this
interest.
week.
That feels like Al Horford.
What the hell? Yeah, that means Al Horford to the Warriors, probably, right?
That
Surely.
feels like Al Horford.
They're letting
He goes-
Looney walk.
That hurts.
See you later, big
They
Al.
just did the Steve Harvey, Matt laughing.
Man, Al
just to
Horford's
despair.
Al Horford is such a good fit with the Warriors. Oh man, like allowing Draymond to play his normal position at the 4. Like
It's
they've
bullshit,
never.
man. You can't take the 22 ring from me and Al Horford.
I know.
Fuck that,
I
dude.
know.
No.
How am I gonna reconcile this, dude? Like, I love Steph. I love Al. I hate Jimmy. I hate Draymond. It's gonna be tough, man.
No, okay. Get
They're
out
gonna
of
be
here,
fun,
Tim.
man.
No one cares
They're
about
gonna be
D'Angelo
damn
Russell.
good.
Player option in the second season. Oh,
For
$6
who?
million annual for. I thought D'Angelo
Looney?
Russell. Sorry.
Oh.
The Pelicans
I
are
need
a
to see
fucking
the Bruce
disaster.
Brown contract. I wanna see the
Jordan
money.
Clarkson at the top of the Knicks list for when he clears waivers.
Okay.
Greenie, I just saw your like quote tweet of the Luke Kornet thing from last year, and I jumped. You can't-
To be honest, I felt mean doing it, but I was more just trying to speak that into existence.
It's still not impossible that we keep both, I guess. But that doesn't.
Sure.
So like we'd have to re-sign both, and then we'd have to dump someone to get back under the apron, right? That's how you would do it.
Oh, fucking.
Probably, yeah.
Like if Looney's getting 8, then that feels like Kornet. Kornet's better than Looney at this point.
Kornet's getting 14.
So is
He's
Horford.
getting the full MLE. I don't know what Horford's getting, but
Horford's better than Looney still.
he's better. No, yeah, I know, but I don't know what he's getting. Like, I think Kornet's easily full 14 mil a season, 3-year deal. Send it, ship it, send it, and go
Fuck.
from there.
So
Like,
sp-
I mean,
oh,
if you're
man.
the Spurs, you get Kornet, right? You roll out. You have Dylan Harper, Darren Fox, Stephon Castle, Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes, then Wemby and Kornet. Like that's
So you just
that's
play-
playoff team.
You just
Right?
play Luke in drop and just have Wemby just fly around.
Double
and-
bigs is disgusting, right? But even
Yeah.
if you just have Luke as your backup center, like
Sure.
you have at least 20 solid minutes a night. Of,
So I thought you were just
actual
listing
center
their
play.
starting. I thought you were listing.
no,
their
I've
starting
been just
lineup.
listening to their whole rotation.
Guys. Yeah. That no, they just need good players that aren't guards. Like Luke Kornet would be a great fit in San Antonio because he'd be such a good developmental structural piece for their young guards because you can play pick and roll with them. He can make good decisions. He knows how to set good screens. Like he can roll. Oh man, see, it would make that's a very easy spot for me to root for Luke Kornet. Is the Spurs?
Yeah,
just
agree.
go there as well, Horford. Go to San Antonio too. Not the Warriors. He's not going to San Antonio though. Fuck. Yeah, what happens to Ian Horford? Do we have to keep him?
Ian Horford's probably devastated. Like Al just breaking the news to him. That's gonna be a tough moment as a father, right?
Yeah. But maybe Ian Horford's just a win. He's just a fair weather fan.
Yeah,
Bandwagon?
he don't watch a loser. Yeah,
He doesn't care, dude. He's like, you guys are going for the play-in? I'm going to Golden State, baby.
Playing, never heard of it.
Oh, God.
I mean, Al Horford, you really would think that the Philadelphia experience would be weighing on him to some degree, but
then
I
again,
guess-
like he did have a good experience in Oklahoma City, so he understands
Yeah.
there could be like positives elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
And-
Theoretically,
and just go to a winning franchise like the
And I
Golden
mean,
State Warriors and not
exactly,
lose a
not-
franchise.
not to put it out there even more, but like if you are to bet on a place that's pretty good, it's the team that's had the same two players as pillars of the organization for the past decade, and seem to be pretty happy there, right? Like,
I mean, fuck, they are putting together one of the oldest rosters of all time in that scenario. Though.
but a really good old roster though.
Yeah.
Like a really
Yeah.
good old roster.
An end of an era. For,
fuck
I don't need
Don't
these
tweet that.
color tweets, Woj. Just
Stop.
give me
Stop, bro.
the trades. I don't
yeah,
need.
what
the
are we
color.
doing?
Also, what the hell are the Pelicans doing? That's
Oh no,
where
They're
Brett
trying
Siegel.
their best.
What did Siegel say?
He said
fuck
the
off.
Warriors are locked in on
Yeah,
trying to
man.
secure Al Horford.
I mean, I could have tweeted
no
that.
shit.
I feel like
Yeah.
Siegel's got no juice. He's got no sources.
Does he not have any juice? Little-
I don't
He's
know. I
just
don't have
tweeting
any
blind.
juice. What do I know? But I feel like
I
he's
don't
got no juice.
It does feel like he's got no juice. He has kind of
He lacks aura too.
Juice and aura. That's a brutal
Yeah, no
combo to
aura
not
on that
have.
guy.
yeah, there's no way a juiceless, auraless reporter is breaking the Al Horford news. No chance. That's gonna have to be someone with
There
a
would
bit
be
more
nothing
riz.
funnier than a Shams notification right now.
Fuck. Fuck. So what do we like? We only have minimums to offer.
So
people.
Ian, random off topic. Ian Begley just tweeted some like not structurally sound sentence. He said Knicks are close to source with the Kings about a potential Malik Monk acquisition with Mike Brown. Sources
No,
tell
no,
us
he's
and
drunk.
why. What is that? Hello?
That
Oh,
means
they're
they're
talking
going to
about
need a
Ian
That's a fake
Horford.
account. It's a fake account. It's fake. It's
One
fake. It's
Jordan
fake. Ignore
Ian.
me. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake. I hate Twitter, bro. I hate this shit. Just someone please tweet something real. That's pissing.
Why? Yeah. Why? What's the point
fake.
of these fake accounts?
I can't. It's so hard to tell now.
Yeah,
Because
people are.
when it's like Ian Begley, I don't know what his @ is like off the
No.
dome, right? I don't know if it's Sham.
That is a
right?
sharp play for making a troll account.
Ugh. That's so
That's-
annoying. Ignore me.
Um,
But back to the Pelicans. What the fuck? What,
yeah, they're
hello?
fucked, dude. I really wish that there was a stock exchange where you could buy stock in certain teams because I'd love to buy stock in the
Called
Atlanta
the
Hawks.
betting apps.
Well, but what can I buy? I want the cumulative regular season and playoff wins of the Atlanta Hawks in the next 3 seasons because I really like.
2.5.
You take their total, right?
I mean, I don't know if they've released win totals yet for the NBA, but Eastern Conference odds for the Hawks in 2026. The Celtics will be back by then. But I like, having that Pelicans pick is so insane. Like they're going to be a bottom 10 team. But the problem is there'd be no value in shorting the Pelicans. Is the problem? I think there's some value in betting a little bit low on the Atlanta Hawks right now, like jumps from Risa Shea, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, and then you have the tantalizing asset that is the Pelicans.
Then you can
2026.
draft Dash with the Pelicans pick next year.
Yeah, bring in Dash. They get that. They get when you build a 2K team and they're from my team and they're from the same team. You get attribute
Yeah,
boosts.
they go up
Bonus.
in overall.
Yeah, that's the secret. Yeah, so the Pelicans have really jumped because I feel like 3 years ago they were doing smart shit. The Anthony Davis trade they got a shitload for, and all of a sudden they are the most.
One has 441.
Oh yeah, he's
There
got to
it
take
is.
that, bro.
Damn.
Oh, that I felt that one in my plums.
Wow.
Fuck.
All right, I'll be back, Jake. I got to go.
Yeah, that's
handle this. I'll be back.
Blog about some pain. That's all
bye.
good, brother. See ya. All right, how do I do this next?
That's so brutal, man. That's so brutal. Listen. Like you said,
Tough.
so happy for Luke though.
Yeah,
Deserves
good
the
for
money.
him.
Incredible, great work by the Spurs too. Great fit for the Spurs too. I mean, we were just
Great
talking
fit for
about
the
it.
Spurs.
What an unbelievable guy to get to help. Going from Charles Bassey, Mabu Kalishvili, and whoever else the hell was playing center for them to Luke Kornet is massive. Just like you can't even put into words how huge that's gonna be for them.
Man, but what a development story for the Celtics, and what a development story for Luke Kornet, like just as a player arc.
Personally, yeah.
To go from bouncing around out of the league, multiple stops with the Celtics before he actually stuck on the team as well. And dude, he was really fucking good for the Celtics over the past 2 seasons. It wasn't just last season. It kind of happened to the previous season. The net rating with Luke Kornet on the court was elite. It was actually better the previous season than it was last season. And he just got better and better. He turned himself into like a mash machine on the offensive boards. We are going to really miss him, dude. Like, he was such a good connector. The locker room as well. Just an elite vibesman. The Cornish game hen, I think, was he was coined by Blake Griffin at one point. Yeah. That's it right there, man. You play with Jason Tatum, you get paid. That's how this.
You get money.
That's how it goes.
Put it on a billboard outside the garden, like the little ticker that's always out there. Just always have that. Be like, Tatum will get you the bag. We promise.
Tatum, yeah. Grant Williams, Gordon Hayward, Luke Kornet, Al Horford to Philly.
They should just start signing shit guys on purpose and like just take swings. Be like, maybe this guy.
Wow.
Daniel Tice, he got paid as well.
Yeah. Tice got paid. I mean, shit, man.
Brad Stevens. We can even go that like.
Brad Stevens.
No, not him getting paid. Like he will get you paid. Evan Turner. Like Isaiah Thomas was going to get paid before his hip went out the door.
Good things tend to happen if you come to the Celtics, whether it's winning basketball games or getting paid.
And shit, Horford got another contract in Philly after playing Boston.
That's exactly.
Right? If we really want to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fuck. Is JT the TB12? Yeah, sure. Just needs 5 more rings in Boston. And 6 more
That's
total.
so tough, man.
This feels like
so
now I want Horford to go. I want Horford to leave because there's no point. There's no point besides the emotional attachment.
Kornet's the backup there, and where does that leave the Celtics? So it's just Kata, Amari.
It's literally Kata, Tillman, and Amari right now. Like there will be some veteran minimum guys, but they're going to be veteran minimum guys. We're getting Clint Capella.
Biggest winner out of this, Rui.
Hayden.
Big day.
I'm gonna have to do a video on like overseas centers, like Jenny. I think that's to be valuable. Like Nigel Hayes, Will Magnay. Well, seriously, like you might as well take the shot now, right? If
Totally.
you find a young enough guy, like 28 and under.
But Nigel Hayes is not a
see
big
if you can
man,
find
man.
it.
Tice was kind of legit good.
I thought
he was
from
like
the
6'8".
beginning when they got him too.
He's like 6'9". He's undersized, sure, but Horford's 6'8".
Yeah, but
Right? Like I'm not saying it's great, but it's not impossible.
Capella, Houston
Capella to the Rock. Oh my
He's
god.
back.
Up.
Thank God.
Houston's
Whoa.
up, man.
8 million or 7 million annual for that's got to be non-guaranteed in there. I bet you.
Good
There's
for
some
them.
team option stuff.
Man, this
What's the
Kornet
point
thing is
of-
crazy.
What's the point of that for Houston? They have Şengün, Steven Adams. I guess, man, they did not like Jock Landale.
No. I mean, that probably opens it up for the Celtics. Like, Jock Landale's Kornet replacement.
Bring in the
there, I
Aussies.
guess.
Bring in Jack
Michael
Magnay.
Scotto. So, okay, Spurs have a team option year 4 for Kornet.
Still, that's such a good deal, man.
No, for sure.
I was hoping to get him for 3 for 15.
Capella's is fully guaranteed, by the way. Sean
What?
just tweeted.
What?
Sean just tweeted.
What?
I
I don't get that. He's pretty washed, man.
4 years, 41. So that's 10 mil a season, right? They didn't even give him the full
Yeah, full mid-level,
non-tax
yeah.
or the full MLE. Yeah.
So I wonder if that leaves them like just a bit more than a minimum to bring in one more guy. They probably have more cap space than I'm thinking. Do they have anything else that they can do? Probably not.
I don't know. I mean, they have the rest of that. I don't know if they have the biannual. That'd be the only other thing I would look at, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
They essentially have more than a minimum. That's like a good
I'm very
strategy.
happy for Kornet, though. He's going home, played high school
totally.
ball in Texas, from the area, or played in the area, knows the area.
And that's
shout out.
That's high on the league pass rankings. Wemby, obviously Kornet, Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox, like Castle. Yeah, like that's a
Carter Bryant and the other lottery rookie they got.
true.
They're sick. They're sick, man.
They're gonna be good. The Jalen will average 30.
Very.
Will the Celtics win 30? The win total is dropping in front of our eyes. That is for sure.
Wow.
Time to
Wow,
start
wow,
watching
wow.
AJ tape. We're all going to the BYU UConn game.
Yeah, dude, 2026 Summer League is going to be lit. We're going to have the number 1 pick.
And he's going to be from Massachusetts.
It's going to be
Good for Kornet.
Hugo.
That's so sad. Like, okay, not only like Luke
Give me Jay
Kornet,
Huff.
the player, just the coolest dude, like just the nicest dude ever,
Nice
too.
guy.
Oh, that sucks so hard, man.
Can
Like,
I just...
no, it's just sad, man. Hey, Luke
Yeah.
Kornet got on a TikTok before he left, though. Shout out, Luke.
Just to LaShawn Watson, this is some loser shit, dude. You can't handle 1 year of not being a contender. This team's been like one of the best teams in the NBA for the
They
last
still might
8
be
seasons.
Fun, by the way. Like,
What are we
just 'cause
doing?
Losing the 2 big men will definitely hurt the
Harris
LeVert
LeVert to your Pistons, Sam.
Oh,
Pistons.
There's Beasley. There's Beasley
Pistons.
replacement.
that's
All
actually
right.
that's actually nice.
Hello.
That's actually huge. That's actually replaces Schroeder quite nicely.
We are all
And
thank
Beasley.
watching the Pistons this year, by the way. You guys are roped in. But no, seriously, like the Celtics
That's a big
still could
deal
be
for
like a
him.
fun team depending on who's here. We just don't know yet.
They could still use Niang. They could still use Niang. Oh boy, this is gonna get bad for the Niang hive because he's gonna become the 7th man, and that's
Yeah, he's
not
gonna
good.
start to get ass. He's gonna accidentally become important at work, and it's not gonna be good.
Yeah. Sorry, Sam, I cut you off there. This team could still be fun. It's only going to be fun though if you play the young guys. It's not going to be fun if you overwork Jalen, Derek, and Niang. It's not. It's because they're not going to win enough games. At least if you're playing the young guys, you can be like, we're getting a good draft pick, and Hugo had a cool block tonight. That's the
You
only
got a
way it
cool
gets
block.
fun.
Yeah.
That's the only way it's fun. What are you linking us in the chat here?
Just a good Chris Haynes laugher.
Oh man, Chris Haynes. Why is he trying to be a news guy? Is there money in being a news guy?
It actually is like
Maybe.
a living hell from everything we've heard about like Shams and Woj.
Yeah.
Like, Woj had to quit because it was like unhealthy.
This is so
And
funny.
meanwhile, Chris Haynes is trying so hard to be in it, and he's just not good at it.
It's like he's always last and like wrong 40% of the time. Like what is it? You can't be willing to sponsor that.
He does it for the love of the game.
He really does. He loves tweeting like 10 seconds after Shams,
It's
or 2 minutes after him.
he's in the breaking news cuck chair. It's tough for our guy Haynes here. Jimmy J, you're hilarious, man. You hate Jalen and want him to be traded, but you still like Jordan Walsh. I don't understand.
Wow.
I don't understand.
Jalen has become the new Marcus. Like
He has,
all the people
absolutely.
in my life that were always like, I can't wait till Marcus is off the team, have now been like, Jalen, get rid of him.
It was KP, and now he's off. Now it's Niang and Jalen.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of them liked KP.
There was definitely a faction of fans that did love KP. I honestly didn't fully understand the high end love for him because he didn't do much in the playoffs. He literally gave us 1 playoff game.
And it was like an out of body experience.
was
though. Like,
literally-
it was like
Yeah.
if you had to put all of the good playoff
Yeah,
games into
exactly.
one good playoff game, like he did it. Would we want Chris Dunn? I would. New England bias. He went to PC in Rhode Island from Connecticut.
He's really good.
He'd be
He
a
would be a good like Drew Light.
Isn't he under
the free
contract? Though?
version.
I was
Am
going
I
to
crazy?
say, I only want Chris Dunn if you're able to sign him for multiple years. I don't want to sign him to a 1 year minimum because, Chris Dunn has 2 more years left at $5.5 million. We're not trading for Chris Dunn. Unless the Clippers really want Georges Niang.
They want
We're not trading for.
Simons.
Oh, I mean,
Just
unless
kidding,
they want Simon. Like, there is a Simons deal for them if they want it. Like, it's a Bogdanovich and a
We'll pick up the phone.
Yeah, look, there's a Bogdanovich and a Chris Dunn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm talking myself into unless we're able to really get under the tax here. Those like you look at some of these numbers. Is Karis LeVert's 2-year, $29 million? Is that like not what Anthony Simons is going to get? Like, how much better is it? Anthony Simons and Karis LeVert.
Well, again, like think about the discussions coming into this free agency, right? Like, thinking about the guy specifically, we can talk about LeBron for a second, but this isn't to shit on him. It's more about market perspective.
We did do an hour 44 without talking about LeBron. That's pretty good.
Like, LeBron opts into $53 million.
Yes.
Right? If he opts out, the only team that can really pay him what he would want is Brooklyn. Like, there aren't going to be a ton of teams with a bunch of cap. Well, actually, I don't specifically know. Maybe Washington will have cap space for you, Anthony, if you would like it. But there's not going to be a bunch of teams willing to throw money around. So if you're the Celtics, you might get away with lowballing. And teams are going to be gravitating towards the lowball now with the CBA.
Especially on the extensions, right? Like, that's kind of... People were surprised that Nas Reed only went for $25 million.
Randall?
People hated that Nas Reed contract. People were hating. I was like, this is not
insane.
terrible for him. What?
Yeah. That's such a win-win, I think. Like, I don't know. Maybe they could... Maybe you can play hardball because it's like... Well, there's literally no cap space. But you do risk it if there is one team, the Nets being like, yeah, we'll give Nas Reed $35 million. Like, why not? I'm trying to pull up the Ringer top 100 to see where Karis LeVert ranks. But, like, yeah, Simons is a bit younger, but, like, Simons is definitely the better offensive player. But, man, the defense is definitely a problem. No official news on Al, but I don't know. The writing feels like
sound good.
Yeah, the writing feels like it's on the wall.
Damn.
Xavier
I was so wrong.
About what?
Mm-hmm. I was just like convinced. I'm like, I can't see Al wanting to play not in Boston. I think I was just very wrong. Which
I just think the Tatum injury really changed it.
Yes,
like
that's exactly it.
For sure.
Before Tatum got hurt, like, I mean, you remember it. Al was at the national championship game watching Florida, and he was talking about Walter Clayton. He's like, what if he's on our team next year? Like, talking about the Celtics. Like, it was almost like a foregone thing that he was coming back. They actually got unlucky that they didn't do a traditional, like, extension like every team has done with their guys going into free agency. Because if they did, like, I'm sure he would have been fine staying. But with the prospect of the team just being mediocre next year, I don't think he wants to waste one of his final years just hanging out.
Which I get. Yeah. I understand. It's just tough.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. Yeah, the Tatum, it's not rocket science, but the difference between a team with and without a top 5 player is the difference between a contender and a play-in team. Like, that's the reality for most of these teams that aren't in the second apron anymore. It's like the Nuggets without Jokic are even worse than the Celtics. I know you're right, Jack, that this team is better equipped to still be competent because of Jalen, Derek, Peyton Pritchard. Like, Jalen, Derek, Pritchard, Anthony Simons, Hauser is competent. But man, if Horford's gone next, like, who's left on the board big man wise? Jock Landale, Jack Magnay, the Aussies are coming to town. And I almost don't want them to come to town because everyone's going to hate them because they're going to be so overtasked.
Your whole nation just gets a bad rap. Nobody wants to see another Aussie on the Celtics. Aaron Baines' erasure will happen. Nobody will respect them anymore. You guys as a country, they'll just be like, keep them down under. We don't need to see any more Aussies in Boston.
I think that Brad should index high on people that will play hard. So that's something that I will say for Jack Magnay and Landale. They will come in and play hard. That's all I really want to see next season. People play hard and develop some youth. God damn, man. 2-way centers to poach. What's his name? Malik Branham for the Hawks? Kind of like him.
Malachi Branham on the Spurs?
Fuck, who am I thinking of?
Dominic Barlow.
That's who I'm thinking of.
He just got released.
Kind of like him.
He's free agent.
All right. There you go. You heard it here first. That's why we should have drafted a center at 28. Well, we drafted a center at 46. We got the future of the franchise, Amari Williams, baby.
Listen, my thing with the whole like crew of like, oh, they should have done this at 28. Like, oh, they're what are they doing? Brad can't draft. Like, could Ryan Kalkbrenner or Maxime Reynaud have been really good? Yeah, sure, right. Do we know for sure? No, it's the second round of the NBA draft. How the fuck are we supposed to know? Like, what? How is anybody supposed to know? I
think it's insane that people were losing their minds about that. I'm like, people like he's guaranteed to be good in the NBA. Well, so
It's not how it works.
32 overall picks. That's if that was a guarantee, I feel like he would have gone higher, but I don't know, man. This is not, and who knows? 46 overall pick. Amari Williams, telling you.
Who knows?
A little bit of Giannis in there. Jack's afraid to admit
Stop spreading bullshit on the internet.
So in about 45 minutes, I think we'll hop off at like in 20 minutes. Seems like we've got a bit of a lull here. And then in 30 minutes after that, so 8:30 Eastern time, Nick NBA coming on the pod, joining first to the floor. We're going to be doing a bit of a deep dive into our draft picks, Hugo, Amari, and the Schulgmeister. And yeah, Nick's been doing some great work breaking those guys down. And if there's anything else that happens, we'll be reacting live on the pod, and we'll go from there. So make sure you're tapped in. Here he is in the chat.
Shout out.
Nick NBA. This is like the Spurs signing. No, hang on. This is like the Nuggets trading for Cam Johnson, bringing in the big dog, bringing us back to contention here, which will be exciting. I don't know. So if you get to winners of the offseason, it's probably Houston.
Celtics.
Feels like.
Or Denver.
Yeah. I mean, if you bundle in the Kevin Durant trade, Kevin Durant, Dorian Finney-Smith, don't forget Clint Capella.
Really good. Re-signing
Adams.
and
Yeah.
Jeff Green and Aaron Holiday and Jay Sean Tate and reworking the Van Vliet contract.
Bro, Durant's going to be able to play like 26 minutes a game and be fresh for the playoffs as they cruise to the 2 seed again.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Damn good. Damn good
Denver,
for the Rockets.
I think you're right, Jack. I think you gotta feel good about Denver. That's crazy. Cam Johnson finally off the board. I feel like he was dangled as a trade piece for multiple years here. And I think a huge win for the Nets to get a 2032 unprotected. Like, how many? That's 7 years away. How old will Jokic be? Like 34?
God. I don't think Jokic will be in the league by then. I think he's gone. I think I said this to both of you.
He'll be 37.
After his current contract, he's not signing another one. I think he's just going to want to go play with horses. I think he's done. I think he's.
I don't know. I disagree on that one. He's too competitive, man. I know he likes his horses.
I just think he wants to go play. I think he's going to go hang out.
Well, I mean, his next contract does take him until what? He's got 3 more seasons.
Maybe he signs like a 2-year. Maybe he's like signed 2 year.
say-
Like I'll be chilling. It's fine.
We'll see how much he feels like turning down the $75 million annual salary that he'll be leaving on the table. Because at that point, it might even be $80 million at that point. It's fucking insane, the money that's coming into the NBA. When does it trickle down to the podcasters? I'm assuming
They
soon.
wouldn't.
Be waiting a long time.
We signed their checks. Without us, nobody even cares about the NBA.
Is Jordan Walsh's ceiling Kevon Looney? That's a crazy comp for Jordan Walsh.
Jordan Walsh.
Thank
will
you.
Ben Simmons be signed?
Probably not.
Something to monitor.
Yeah, I thought you said Ben Simmons just got signed.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, did we get info on the vet min deal for Bruce Brown?
Yeah. No, I don't think so, but I believe it. I mean,
Brian
I don't think it would
Smith,
be just-
8229. Do you got the goods? Is that official? Who's your source? Who are your sources,
Let me
bro?
see.
Trust me?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it anywhere on Twitter. I
Trading-
mean, I stand. Shams didn't say the price though, so I assume it's a min.
I trust you. Sam
If I had to
Amick.
guess.
Sam Amick. All right.
I believe that. Yeah,
I'll
I don't think
there's
he just
two-
makes shit up.
There's Sam
Amick is the good one. Amick's the good
Okay,
one.
I was going to say, I always get confused between Amick and Amico.
Yeah, no. He said, by the way, Bruce Brown reunion is per sources on a vet men deal. Yeah.
Good call from you,
Very
Jack,
good.
on the if they don't mention the price, it's probably the smallest possible price.
If they're getting it from the agents, they're not going to say min.
Yeah.
Woj would always say minimum because he was getting it from the front offices who wanted to say this is a steal of a contract.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's huge. So they still have the MLE. Bruce Brown, you upgrade from MPJ to Cam Johnson, and then you bring in Al Horford. Are they in a bidding war? Are the Warriors and the Nuggets in a bidding war? Please go to Denver. Please.
I have great appreciation for the Warriors. They kept LeBron from winning. They have my respect.
Yeah, absolutely. Jimmy J, because you want good players on the team when Hauser gets back next season.
Tatum gets back, yeah.
Well, yeah, sorry, Tatum gets back next season.
Hauser gets back.
Like Hauser, when
Bro,
like,
Hauser has never shot below 40% from 3-point range. Do you know how hard
in his
that is?
life.
And he's making $10 million, and he is the best, most consistent shooter in the NBA, making $10 million.
I'm 100% sure people anchored to the first month of the season where he missed a couple games with the back, and then he played 71 games, and then he hurt his ankle in game 1 of the Knicks series. It's like there's like, for $10 million, dude, one of elite role player, literally was the 7th man on
and can defend.
Exactly, dude. Rebounds, makes good passes. Really good.
Long wait. It's 1 season, Jimmy J, and he's under contract for like 4 years.
Yeah, people are acting like the team
He's
is
a role player.
Yeah.
He averaged almost 10 a game.
Yeah, that's actually great. Yeah. Insane.
Pretty good.
PP better. PP might be better.
Well, yeah, he is better.
do you like Herb Jones? Is he a good role player?
They should actually trade Derek White because Jaylen Brown is better.
Herb Jones averages 10 points per game.
I personally think the Thunder should trade Jalen Williams and Chet because Shea is better. So why would you?
Yeah, what is fucking going on, dude? It's so insane.
Brook Lopez Clippers.
Wow,
that's nice.
Good
nice
deal for the
Damn,
Clippers.
So Luke Kornet was the domino.
Bro,
back up
any? Okay, correct. I'm probably wrong. Has anybody signed with an Eastern Conference team today?
LeVert went to the Pistons.
Pistons, right? Is that it?
Is
that the only East team?
Let's Luke Kornet. Let's go through
The Nets did the trade, but Louis went to the Pelicans. Right? Let me look. I can pull it up real quick actually because the free agency on Spotify
to the
has
Rockets,
everything.
Kornet to the Spurs, Looney to the Pelicans, D'Lo to the Mavs, Bruce Brown to the Nuggets.
Everybody switching team except for LeVert has gone to
Ty Jerome to the
Conference.
Grizzlies. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody except for Karis LeVert.
Trey Jones.
But he re-signed.
True.
He re-signed. Merrill re-signed too. David Mitchell re-signed. I'm saying the only player to switch teams and go to the East, and he didn't even switch conferences. He went from East to East.
Finney Smith as well.
West, stayed in the West.
The East is hilarious, dude.
Embarrassing.
Are there more guys that can leave? Like
Horford's not going. No reports of
guys from teams that I don't care about. Like
Turner, technically.
Who else can go? Yeah, Miles Turner.
Technically, Turner could go. Brogdon could go. Tim Hardaway could go. Duncan Robinson could go. Mo Wagner could go.
Is Duncan Robinson coming home?
Gary Harris could go.
Why did Duncan Robinson turn down that $20 million player option?
I assume it's either to stay with the Heat on a longer term deal that they're figuring it out after the Heat maybe sign Kuminga or whatever, or it's because he knows somebody else is going to pay him a longer term deal. I said this to Sam. I feel like as long as he gets like an $8 to $10 million deal, that's like 2 to 3 years at least. Like he gets paid a cumulative amount, and he just gets to stay in the NBA. Like maybe he's supposed to earn a chance to keep earning money.
He gets to keep telling people he's in the NBA.
Well, he gets a chance to play his way into another contract.
Correct.
For longer.
I guess if he gets a 3 for 30, it's worth it just to get a guaranteed extra 10. I guess.
And a chance to keep playing and earning another one.
Yeah. That's fair.
And apparently, per Brian Smith, 8229, it was only guaranteed for 9. They could have waived him.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Because I was wondering if it was like a Caleb Martin situation where he was like, thought that he was, or O'Shea Brissett situation where they declined options in hopes of getting a bigger deal, and then Brissett is now out of the NBA while Caleb Martin got him.
Bring him
to
back.
the Celtics? No, I'm good. I like him, but not on
You can get like sad team vlogs.
Oh, fuck. No, thank you. All young guys. I want only young guys now. Al, appreciate you. Time to go. It's Amari Williams and Hugo Gonzalez time. I cannot believe this is what we're. I cannot believe less than 12 months later, we're looking at a team that has no Drew Holiday, no Kristaps Porzingis, no Luke Kornet, and probably no Al Horford. 4 of your top 6. Is that right? No, 7. No, 7, because Luke Kornet's not top 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked. If you put
top
Luke
8,
Kornet,
4 of your top 8, right?
Yeah. Depending on how you just put
How you
Kornet,
rank it, yeah.
4 of your 8. 4 of your 8.
This is so sad. I'm like,
That's insane.
is JaVale McGee available?
And Tatum is out for next year.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Bad.
That's pretty bad. Or is it pretty good? AJ. DiBenesta. How do you say it?
DeBansta?
DeBansta? I'm sorry. How does this happen when there's no hard cap? There is a hard cap. The hard cap is a second apron now. It's just not worth being in those aprons when you're going to be freezing draft picks, unable to aggregate salaries. And the reality is we do not have an owner that is Steve Ballmer. We have an owner that is like barely able to pay for the team. No Ayton. Ayton would be a disaster. I'm surprised he hasn't signed yet. I figured that would kind of be like connected
Monitoring
to him being
Horford.
bought out.
We talked about Greenie. It's too icy up here, man. He could get iced into his house, miss games. It's dangerous for Ayton.
Or is he a good tank commander? I mean,
Maybe.
let's have a look at.
He can have like a big statistical year too. You can like be like double.
Looking at the deadline.
I still don't think Aiton's going to be. I feel like he'll be okay on his next contract.
Well,
I don't think he's
Jack
gonna
made a point to me on the podcast. It's very true.
Oh, he's-
Like, if he's on like a
Oh
non-taxpayer
my God.
MLE, what are you gonna do? Get pissed?
Okay, listen to this. DeAndre Ayton on-off splits from last season.
Oh no.
In 1,206 minutes with DeAndre Ayton on the court, negative 7.1. In 2,750 minutes with DeAndre Ayton off the court, negative 1.44. They were 6 points worse with him off the court. With him on the court. With this Blazers team that was playing a rookie.
And Rob.
Well, Rob played 20 games, I want to say.
Hey.
Back.
No.
I would love Rob back. I would love Rob back because we get 20 games of fun, and he doesn't play the other games.
Just start assembling the.
He can just
get the band back together.
He did play exactly 20 games last season. He's played exactly 26 total games since leaving Boston.
It pains him to take the floor for another team. I kind of get
Jesus Christ. So maybe I do want DeAndre Ayton actually.
Lose games.
Yeah. Who's
Have you
worse?
Flipped completely.
DeAndre Ayton for this is where it's tank time.
Kata. If you want to tank, you should play Kata much more.
Yeah. I do think Ayton's still better than Kata.
For sure.
But dude, for a 7-footer, he has a sub 60% true shooting for the past 2 seasons. Ayton does, because he keeps taking these fucking dumb 12-foot jump shots that he's not that good at, and doesn't shoot threes and doesn't finish at the rim or dunk enough. I almost want him to sign because I know there'd be a big faction of Celtics fans that would be really excited and be like, watch them turn on him. That'd be fun for me, but this is. Simons for Hauser and Zubats. Why are the Clippers trading a defensive player of the year candidate and fringe all NBA player for Simons and Hauser?
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I would. I'm in.
I'll do it.
I wish we got to decide the trades. You guys are all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I just don't think Brad's bringing in Ayton. No chance. Goes against the dig.
I think Brook Lopez is going to be their backup.
Agreed.
Pete.
Absolutely, sure. Yeah. Yes. A great backup. Didn't they just
Elite
upgrade
backup.
from Eubanks?
Eubanks and like Kai Jones or something that they had for half the year.
Bro, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Big.
I mean, he's kind of washed, but like as a backup big, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, man.
Perfectly fine.
Again, the West. Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's impossible to tank in the East.
That's what I'm saying.
It's actually really
saying
neat.
anything.
Yeah, like this is the the Western Conference is like the pinnacle of competition. Like all these teams want to be good. The East is just the inverse. Like it's actually
crazy.
How difficult is it to be a bad team in the East? It's
Hey, I mean,
just as
on a
difficult
positive
as
note,
question.
the Red Sox put up 7 runs in the first inning.
I was
So-
just about to say it.
Hey, are we back?
They needed it. They needed to do this for the city today.
Rafi Devers, who?
Very similar to the what is
Dude.
this?
The NBA has just gotten to such a crazy point. Like to Tugboat's comment here, like guys on the mid-level are making $10 million. It's insane. Like veterans minimums are close to $3 million. You got Devin Booker signing $75 million extensions. Like it was Mark Jones. I think I heard the term from that. It's the It Never Broke Again League is what the NBA stands for.
Yeah. Like the rapper, NBA YoungBoy. That's what his NBA stands for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay,
any
see-
of his music, but I remember being like NBA. Whoa, what does this mean? Is he
Yeah.
in the league? No.
It's just to be 7 foot tall, man. I'd love to be in the NBA. That would be so fun.
RJ saying NBA East is like the Twilight Zone. It's like the upside down from Stranger Things. Like you just go there and it's just cold and everything's like
Scary.
dark and dead.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's kind of the best place to be.
Giannis is the Demogorgon running around. Like he's still there.
I did watch season 1, so I know what you're talking about.
That's right. You don't like Stranger Things.
I didn't.
care for it.
Didn't mind it. I
Yeah.
didn't. I wasn't like, yes, next season coming. But fuck, dude, this is probably a good place to leave it. We haven't gotten anything since Levert, or was Brooke Lopez the last thing we got?
I think it was Brooke.
Unsure. I need to go get my package though. I got to Amazon.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
All right, boys and girls, it's been a pleasure. 2 hours here. Jack Simone, how about them Celtics? Sam LaFrance, how about them Celtics? I'm sure they'll be putting up a video tomorrow as per usual. Sam, any closing remarks for us here?
Sad day. It is This is not the beginning. Like the beginning of the horror movie was Tatum tearing his Achilles.
Yeah.
And then like the killers come one by one for Drew, and then Kristaps and Luke. Al's like getting chased right now by Ghostface, whoever you want your murderer to be. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Go ahead, Jack.
Jake, I forgot. I have 1 second. I have beef.
Oh, you got beef. Let's go.
This is
What is-
excellent.
Is Xavier Tillman shooting form
I
notes?
ordered this in November, Jake. It got to my door last week. It is too hot to wear this now.
I really appreciate you buying that. Dude, do you know how far away Australia is?
I know. 6 months?
Bro, I ordered a t-shirt off the Celtics NBA store in November. I still don't have it. So
Really?
yeah, I got to reach out. I'm pretty sure that's just lost now. So if the Celtics can't send me a
I
t-shirt,
forgot I ordered it.
hell yeah, brother. Oh, RJ, where's the how about them Celtics?
I
match?
actually wear this hat all the time just to torment people.
I
that
need to
order
ask
stuff
Spring.
and haven't gotten it yet.
I
Just to be like,
know
I
them.
have this and you don't. Yeah, see,
Uh,
I think to be honest with everybody, inclling like
I think it's
Jack
the
and
shipping.
Jake, I think it is
Yeah.
the supplier.
Spring.
It is not
Yeah, I think they
Jake's
just are
fault. It is
terrible.
not our fault.
I mean, it's the tariffs, man. It's not our fault. It's the trade war. All right, it's been a pleasure. We'll be back in half an hour to talk a little more free agency and Celtics draft picks. Jack and Sam, appreciate you guys. How about them Celtics first to the floor? Out.